Now we're live. Hey, welcome to this live stream. This live stream is super, super, super special because we have an incredible guest, someone who I have mentioned over and over and over again, someone who you guys will probably be familiar with, and that is creating cute art. And in this video, what we're going to do is essentially do a live stream, chat with each other, chat with you, have a really, really good time. And yeah,
We're
let's get this
excited.
going.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Moni is talking already about Tuffy, my dog. He's like the mascot of this channel. He's asleep in the corner in the sunspot. So I have you with my overhead set up right now, so you can't see him. But at some point, maybe when this is further along, I'll aim the camera over in the corner and you can see the little pup.
Perfect. Now, in addition to putting the reference on the screen, I don't think we'll have it up for the whole time, but what I've done is actually linked the reference in the description. So if you want to paint along, and then you're welcome to do so. Just feel free to follow that link. And let me make sure that we can see everything. Oh, I'm so excited that there's so many, like I'm seeing so many familiar faces and so many familiar names.
Temple's
Hi,
here,
Miss
Moni D.
Ebony.
Major is here. Ms. Ebony is here. Hello. Yeah, a ton of
Welcome.
people. Oh yeah, Jessica Lynn illustration, super fun. So many people that we know. It's really cool to see you guys here. Definitely decide if you want to paint along. So this picture up on the screen, that's a reference I took while I was hiking with my husband. So that's my picture. You're free to use it. There won't be any copyright issues because I'm releasing it to you. It's public domain from my perspective. Y'all can feel free to use it. I also ran this picture through a filter using Canva. I don't know if you all use Canva. If you do, definitely let us know in the chat. But we both, I think you use it too, right, Sketches?
Yeah, I do. Massively, yeah.
Yes, massively. So yes, it is super helpful. It's free. Obviously, there are things you can pay to upcharge, but this is one of the free effects you can apply on a picture. It's called Paint Effects. And I just you can adjust how wild you get with it. This is a pretty wild one. I went like all the way to 100% paint effects. And it took that picture and this is what it did. So I like to do that just to see how drastic the shadows and lights are and to try to pull a little bit more color options because that picture was pretty, it's a winter hike, right? So it was like brown and blue. It was like various shades of tan and blue. So this kind of brought some of the unexpected colors out and that's what I used as my reference. And let me show you. I like to do my sketch before I get on camera. If you ever watch my videos, you probably know that, but this is my sketch. I did it in pencil, like erasable Colarase pencil. This is the pencil I use, the Colarase from Prismacolor. This is like a brown, just straight brown. And that is my sketch ready to be painted. What about you, Miss Sketches? What do you have there?
So my setup is a lot less aesthetic and I wasn't as organized in terms of actually doing a sketch beforehand. And I think people who've seen my live streams before are like, oh yeah, I just start and go for it. So I've literally just got some cellulose paper and I have got my Stay Wet palette on the side, which is almost ready. And that's pretty much it. I'm also going to use, let's see.
What brushes you got there? I actually didn't even go through this. I'll go through this next, yeah.
I'm going to use like the Graduate De La Rowley round brush in a size 10. And I also have, I think they call it the oval shape, but to me it's almost like a filbert. So I have these two shapes. I'm just going to mess around. Probably I'll lean a little bit more heavily on the oval wash brush just because of the shapes that we have in the reference photo. But and I don't know if I'm going to do an outline. I don't think I'm going to do an outline like with pen. I think I will just do a quick outline with my paintbrush and with the paint and then go over it. That's it.
That would be awesome.
Beauty of wash.
Yes, I think that's super cool. I think that's really good that they'll see two different, because I'm going to use straight up watercolor, classic. I'm going to use my Regina's watercolor palette. That little pineapple is her logo, I guess. It's a glass palette, so it's really fun to mix on this palette. I've been using this for my Use It Up challenge. I'm trying to see if I can use up an entire watercolor palette, and I'm so excited about how far I am with these. Like, look at all that pan. You could literally like go swimming in the pans. with all the room that you have. So I'm excited. I do think this will end up going this for sure this year, if not before the end of the year. I'm going to try to take, they're pretty well in there now because I use this so much, but they're like metal quarter pans. That's why they're going so fast, because they're teeny, teeny, tiny. And they're metallic so that they stick to this, oh gosh, what's the word for metal? That, magnets. What is wrong with me? So this is magnetic. And then I'm also going to be using my famous, absolutely wonderful Meeden palette that I filled with super granulating watercolors. I'm just obsessed and can't really do a painting without them if I have the opportunity to use them. So I'm going to use those. And that's what you see here. It's just the like swatch card for my granulating palette, because I know these by heart from using them so much for the challenge. And then for my brushes, I already showed you I use the Colorase pencil for the sketch. I have my little Jinhao fountain pen if I want to use black ink, but I'm with you, Sketches. I don't think I'm going to do a black outline for this. I think I'm just going to go with the pencil and then start painting. I've got a size 8 square Velvet Touch Princeton brush. I love the Velvet Touch. I think that Chloe Rose Art also really loves those. That's where I heard of that. These are the Betty Hayways Chelsea Paper Co. Synthetic brushes. These are vegan brushes and they're really nice. They do hold a lot of water and I like the point that they keep, but they're also just so much fun. Like, look how pretty that is. Do you see the color on the barrel?
Yeah, that's actually I think I saw it in one of your videos and I asked straight away, like, where is it from? What is it? It looks so beautiful. But at the moment, I have so many brushes that I haven't actually got it. But yeah, no, I definitely remember seeing those brushes and being like, oh, could this be the second thing I get obsessed over from
yeah. Well, it was like $66, I guess, like 45 pounds maybe, or something like that. For a set of something wild, like 7 different brushes. So you could just get that set and be fine. But I do love my silver black velvet brushes, and I have a size 6 and a size 14. 14 for just big washes. It holds so much water, and the 6 for finer details. So that's everything I have to use in front of me. I'm excited to see if you guys end up painting with us, but I think it'll be cool that you'll see a version in watercolor and a version in gouache.
Don't judge me too harshly. As always, I have done absolutely not enough prep work beforehand. So I am excited to see the results as much as you guys are, because I honestly have no idea how this is going to turn out.
Well, okay, I don't know about you. I actually do want to kind of tell you what I'm thinking. I'm going to start with the sky. I have like a heavily sketched out area here, but I didn't sketch out the sky because that's where I love with watercolor, to just kind of let things happen. Is that if you were here and you were using this, and this is watercolor paper from Holbein, by the way, it's a Holbein watercolor sketchbook. Is that what you would do? Like, where would you start if you were in watercolor? Because it is so different using gouache, where you can just kind of like fix problems more easily. You know, just like delete, Control Z.
And that's why I love gouache.
Yeah.
I think especially for landscapes, is why I keep going back to it over and over again, because it's so forgiving. But yeah, I know you guys can't see the reference, but for those who are new and those who've just joined, we've actually linked the reference in the description. So if you want to see both references, the original one and the one that Creating Cute Art has very kindly created for us, then just head over and watch that and let us know if you're painting along too, because I am super curious to see what everybody is doing.
I am torn between using the Cobalt Cerulean or the Phthalo Blue for the sky. I think just like diving in with super granulating colors is probably more me, so that's what I'm going to do. Where are you starting? Like, when you look at the reference picture, how do you just start? Like, what are you diving in with?
That is such a good question, and let me bring up the reference photo so we can see. I think what I'm going to first do is block in like the big shapes that I'm seeing, and I'm just using like a raw, I think, is this a yellow ochre? Just like the lightest colors that we're seeing, just to get a rough idea of what I'm actually going to be doing, because as it stands at the moment, I have absolutely no direction.
Oh my gosh. Well, so let me ask you this, between this like zhuzhed up, like worked around in Canva version and the original version, which are you drawn to paint first? I mean, you definitely pulled this up because you knew I'd already sketched this version, but I didn't know if that was also because you wanted to paint this version more.
No, I'm drawn to this version because I think initially when I saw it, I was kind of um in terms of the reference, because thank you for letting me pick the reference.
Yeah.
I really wanted to, I don't know, I really liked it. I liked that it was simple, I liked that it was plain, but I also liked the fact that in theory we could like play around with the colors if we wanted to. But I don't know
Mhm.
if you remember from our the challenge that we did, like CNS calling, that was saying that one of the things that I always want to try and work on is like my imagination, because I just don't feel like I have a like that much
Oh
of it.
no.
I can say I'm creative, but do I have imagination?
Oh
That's
my God. Yes, I think is the obvious
that's
answer.
a little, it's up for
100%.
debate. So because of that, the reference that I'm most drawn to, I think, is the one that you've kind of like zhuzhed up, because it kind of made my life a little bit easier in terms of giving me a bit of a better idea as to what colors I should be using, and just in general, like what could I potentially do? And it kind of reminds me of the gouache painting that I did for that challenge,
Oh
for the
yeah.
CNS challenge. So I'm like, oh
Yes.
yeah, all these lovely shapes. Like I can go for that. I can do that.
I loved that challenge so much, and our like Zoom calls hanging out after and around it and stuff. And I just love being able to compare art with someone live, because frankly, I don't have anyone that I know in person who would do that, like who would be interested in doing that with me, you know?
No.
I'm sure I know artists, but there are a lot of secret artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You like find out that they do art and you're like, wait, what? And I know that's how it is for me in my real life. Like I go by my nickname here. I don't use my nickname at all at work. Maggie is my nickname that like family and some friends call me. But
Mm.
no one at work knows that I would go by Maggie. They just know my like formal name. And like they when they find out that I do this, that I do cute art, I mean, I'm a lawyer, you're a doctor. I feel like those are the type of work that people don't think you're doing that kind of thing in your face.
Yeah.
Like,
I
especially if you're like a little bit of a hard, what's the safe way to say, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Hard as nails, hard as nails. We'll say that. And they're like, wait, you draw koalas and owlets and bunnies, fuzzy bunny butts? Yeah, we can't be afraid of you anymore.
What's the animal that you drew, that you painted, that always smiles? I saw like a picture of it, and I was like,
Oh,
oh, is
quokka.
it a koala? Yes, I
Yeah.
saw it, and I was like, oh, this is what she was talking about. I knew exactly that it was, what you were painting when I saw it. It just instantly reminded me of your painting.
Oh my
But no,
God.
I'm the same. No one at
Thank you.
work knows that I paint.
Yeah.
No one at work knows that I have a YouTube channel. Like I like the fact that I am keeping everything, private. And I
I
think
don't know
that
how you're doing that with how big your channel is getting. Like you're verging on 5K. To me, that's a huge art channel now. Chat, don't you think, like, isn't 5K to you like a huge art channel? I don't know. Like, let me know what you think. Because Miss Moni D Major over there in the comments is another one. Are you over 5K, Moni? I feel like you probably are by now. You were at 4 something last time I checked. Oh, we
yeah,
have
I
a ton
think
of comments.
she's almost there.
Let me see. We've
Oh, I'm
got, okay.
sorry to hear that you've been struggling health-wise, Moni. I hope that you get well soon.
Oh
I sent you a
no.
message a little while back because I was thinking like, oh, I miss you. Like I haven't seen you in so long.
I loved, Moni and I also did a Zoom, like an after hours Zoom. And actually, Moni, you're the reason I even had a mermaid entry at all this year, because I was not doing any mermaid stuff. But you saw that painting that I was doing while we were talking, that I was sort of like meh about, and you were like, just put a mermaid in there. And I was like, done. I love you, Moni. I miss you so much. I hope that you're doing better, and I'm so proud of you for like setting boundaries and doing what you need to do for your mental health. And you're awesome. Like, just know that you're so loved, and everyone sees that you're wonderful and loves you. Ella, just FYI, for your records, you're loved. Um, she just said hermit mode in the comments. The quokka are like the cutest ever. The absolute cutest. friendliest, happiest. I saw some video where someone was juggling for a quokka and it was losing it like a toddler would, you know? Like it was just like, this is the coolest thing ever. The quokka was loving the juggling.
I literally saw the picture and I was like, huh, that animal's smiling. And then I instantly remembered your painting. I was like, is this the animal she was talking about? Oh my gosh, like it's a real thing.
It's so cute. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me just see. Annie Noodle, hey, how are you? Shout out to Annie. And she said she's at 370 or something. It is huge. I remember when I first hit 100 and I was like, I'm going to show my count now. Like I hit my count until I hit 100. You hit your count for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, for a long while. I don't know why. I think initially I wanted to hide my count and then I just didn't realize it was hidden. Like it was just something that I'd forgotten about. And I think you told me, you were like, oh, it's hidden. And I was like, wait, what? Like I thought everyone could see it. So it must have been something that I thought of like at the beginning, like, oh, let me keep it private. But then after I just completely forgot about it.
Well, that sounds the same. It sounds the same that we both kind of wanted to hide it when we were really little channels. And then as you get, like I said, I feel like over 100 and I was sort of like loud and proud.
I was looking at my stats yesterday or the day before, just because I want to do like a video reviewing the past year, like on YouTube. Just, you know, I don't know. I think sometimes it's so good to like look back and see what you've achieved, how things have changed, what things worked, what things didn't work, just reflecting in that whole like New Year vibe kind of thing. And I was looking at my first video, my first year, and I could see that I'd made, I think, 25 videos before I got to 100 subscribers. Oh wow. So it was actually like a really long time, which I'd actually forgotten about. I kind of thought like, oh yeah.
It's a lot of commitment. Like that is a lot of commitment to show before you even really feel like anyone knows you exist. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not, because none of us do this for like, please don't think that we make money from this. We really don't. Like even, I mean, I'm thrilled when I get like a $30 Amazon gift card for my Amazon links, you know, my affiliate links. That's to me is like, I've made it. I can get some free art supplies, but that isn't what gets you to do the kind of work that you in particular, like you and Moni and all the videos that I see of all of our friends on here, like you guys put so much work and time into your videos. It's just, to me, wild. Like I just can't even believe how much you all do. And nobody does that for money. Like you're doing that because you're trying to find your friends, like your people.
Exactly. I think it's not sustainable. Like don't get me wrong, it's nice to, you know, to get the gift cards and it's nice to get more art supplies. That's the other thing. Like any money that I have gotten has literally just gone back into getting more art supplies.
100%. I'm always in the hole. Still always in the hole, that's for sure. But it's so this is what's cool. Yeah. To me.
So it's I agree, because I think that's part of the reason that I really wanted to do this series of live streams, because it's just nice to make art with friends, basically.
Oh my gosh. Totally. I love that. I love that we have art friends. Like I never knew you. You're in friggin' the UK. I'm in Colorado. We would never know each other. We would never meet. It took me forever to figure out that 1 p.m. my time is 8 p.m. your time, and that when we would hang out, it would be like 1 o'clock in the morning, and you still are looking fresh and beautiful. So I have no clue that it's like 8 your time. But we never would have known each other, and I just feel like it's such a valuable thing. I have no. It's awesome, and even just being a fan, like just hanging out on these when I had nothing to do with. Joy. Do you know what I mean? I'm in your lives all the time, just hanging out and enjoying. So I don't know how you do that when you're by yourself. That's actually a huge deal to me. Like I'm looking up every once in a while. You're taking care of so many of these comments. I'm not even seeing. I'm missing so many comments. I'm so sorry, guys.
It's just with practice, and I think it also helps that everyone, one, like I recognize most of the names on the chat, and people are
Yeah.
just gracious. So I've done so many live streams, like I've fumbled so many times, I've made mistakes, I've got, I've made so many mistakes live, and I've been shown so much grace and so much love, and everyone's been so nice and supportive that it almost removes that fear element. Like I don't necessarily feel scared. I know that I'm not going to speak perfectly, and I know that I might miss something, or I might forget something, or I might miss a comment, and someone will just send it again and show me grace. So I think that's what's really helped. And it's funny because one of the goals that I'd set for 2022 was to do 3 live streams. And I've looked back and I did 22 live streams last year.
There's no way you only did 3 live streams. That's so funny. You're the queen of live streams in our group. Like in our group of people that I consider like all of us that came up together, like on like, Miranda Watts, obviously Moni is a given, but Miranda Watson and Alkali Creek Art, and I mean there are a ton of them. Annie, obviously, Jude and her pencil. Like there are a ton of people who I would consider part of that. I'm going to forget people. Please don't take that as anything. I'm just trying to not sit here and like list. But like there's so many people that came up with us, and I feel like you're the one. You're the live stream queen. I don't know how else to say it. You're the one that really knows how to do this. I was so nervous for this, you guys, just so you know, so we can be transparent. I was so nervous last night that I was gonna mess up the tech like horribly, because I'm not the one. Do you know what I mean? I'm no Sketches. Let's put it that way.
Well, you say that, but I still get nervous. Like as much as I know that, it's not going to be perfect and it's going to be fun. Like I always love live streams, and I think people who have joined, especially my Ko-fi members, can attest to the fact that I always say something like it will be an hour or it'll be, a 30 minutes or whatever, and it's never that long because I end up having such a good time that I refuse to come off the live stream. But beforehand, I do still kind of get nervous. I don't know why. Especially, it's almost like, and again, I don't go to the gym. I should, but it's almost like that thing of you don't want to go to the gym, but when you get there, you enjoy it. Like that's pretty much what it's like.
Yoga is like that. Yeah. Yoga, I dread, and then the minute, and I don't enjoy it while I'm doing it at all, ever, but I love it. The minute it's over, my body's like, it's like the most deep, full body sigh ever. So that's what gets you to do it. Oh my gosh. Oh, let me see. Oh my gosh, I have not even seen. Can you switch it so yours is bigger? Like just flip yours on the reference somehow?
I don't think so. Let's see.
I must.
It says no.
I want to see yours so bad. I can't.
Should we do this? There we go.
Let me see. Oh, there's. Yee, that looks so good. That looks so good. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So does yours. It's so funny. Although it wasn't intentional, I love the fact that we're doing different mediums.
Yes.
I think it's going to make it so cool.
Yes. It will be definitely more interesting, I think, to see how different media or mediums, I never know what to say there, are the right thing. It's like deers, mooses, I don't know. So yeah, I'm loving that you interpreted that as like this lavendery, temple, 100%. Friends would be the only reason, absolutely. You have this like lavendery purple periwinkle color going on that I didn't even see in the reference. I love that. Like I'm going full teal, like full ultra turquoise, probably ultramarine turquoise. So that's cool that even with the same, see, that's what I mean. That's when you're saying I don't have imagination. Like, first of all, no. And second of all, like, absolutely not. And second of all, this is an example. Like, we're both using the exact same reference that's already kind of arted up in a sense. And we're still both seeing different things. That's so cool. Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for showing that. So nice. I love it. Oh my gosh. So have you, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to ask a question about your super granulating palette, but I can ask later. I'm just voicing it out so I don't forget.
I'm just asking, are you, when you're doing this, are you trying to color match, or are you letting yourself sort of be like, I want this to be this color? Because it's interesting to me if we're actually seeing different colors. You know what I mean? Like that would be really
Yeah.
cool.
I think I color matching, as in like I'm looking at the general colors that I'm see like it's not exact, so I'm not necessarily seeing this exact color. So I'm looking and I guess being inspired by it, and then I
Yeah.
try to lay down a similar color, and then if I like it, I go with it. If I don't like it, then I change it slightly. And
Okay.
that's so I guess the colors are more so a starting point, and then from there I'm able to change things.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Oh, Moni. Yes, Moni said, I would never live stream. I swear way too much. Maybe, oh my gosh, I have a good idea in light of that.
No,
Because it's
you
not that I
could. We'll
don't
just
swear. It's just I don't do it on YouTube. We could totally do like a YouTube after hours of like cocktails if anyone likes them, chocolate for me, because that's what my go-to is for after hours. And we could totally be like swearing like sailors. We would have to probably do it on Moni's channel though. I can't see that driving on Sketches or my channel.
I
What do you
don't
think, Moni?
swear,
I feel
you
like
know.
you could
I
get
don't
away with
actually swear.
it. See? It would
I don't
be
even
very.
swear in my head.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me right now?
No,
You don't even swear
no,
in your head.
no. Like I remember I heard someone I can't remember like something for work, someone said the D word, and I was like, the person said um a colloquial term for penises. And they
Oh,
were
okay.
like, you said what? Like,
I'm
what are you
following.
saying?
Wait, you didn't know what the word was they were
No,
saying?
I knew the word, but I was like, I can't say the word. It's a bad word.
Oh, oh my gosh, you just became the actual cutest thing I've ever heard of. Oh my gosh, that is the cutest, sweetest thing ever. I love it. Oh my, yeah, so Moni is just out here corrupting us. Is that what, not me, I don't want to have to be corrupting you, because I do curse. I definitely think curses, that's for sure. You are so stinking sweet. So did your family just never curse? Is that why? Or are
Yeah, we
you
weren't
the
even.
older one?
Yeah, we just don't even like I used to get in trouble for saying get lost. Like that used to be like, how could you tell your siblings to get lost?
Oh, that's the cutest thing I've ever
What if
heard.
they actually got lost?
Oh, what if they?
So I used to
You're
be like, so
so
if
cute.
that was unacceptable, you can only but imagine like what would happen if I like started swearing, and then it just like I stayed at home for so long, but it just never, yeah, it just never did. And the thing is, because I'm Nigerian, like I'm Igbo, we don't have necessarily like in Igbo there aren't like swear words. There are insults, but there are no swear words. So I think that's also perhaps an element as to why my like it didn't
Mm.
come naturally to my parents, or they didn't even like they don't swear either.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's just
My grandparents did not swear. They cursed. So meaning like we say cursing for that like the D word and the S word and all that stuff. But they
mm,
actually cursed you. I wonder if it's like that with you too. Like be like, may you grow like a turnip with
yes,
your head in the ground and your feet in the air.
exactly,
Like that.
exactly, yeah.
And by the way, that was a joke. I'm not actually cursing you. Whoever listens to curses, that was not intended as real. Please know the difference. Do not
Yeah, it
curse,
would be like
my
it'd be
friend.
things like that. Like swear words would be, it would be literally like, oh, the ground that you stand on, like swallow you, like things like that, as
Yeah.
opposed to like
That's
um
great.
an actual word. Or you'd call someone like an animal, like a goat, or a
Hmm.
cow or whatever. But that's pretty
I mean,
much
that's definitely more effective. I feel like I would take
yeah,
note of that. You know what I mean? Like I would notice that a lot more.
yeah. They were definitely creative. Like they can
Yeah.
definitely get very creative with that. So
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, I'm not seeing the chat right now because I was just looking at the reference again because I'm moving on to some blues. Do you want to share the reference one more time? I'm sorry, I'm
yeah,
being
of
so
course.
so so pushy.
Yeah.
Yay. Ooh, that was a mistake, but I love it. I like did the orange too soon. The blue wasn't dry and it bled into it, but it actually looks really cute. Loving it. I love
Happy
watercolor
accident.
like the stuff that just happens with watercolor, you know?
Yes.
That's awesome. That's one of the reasons I love it. So yay. BUTS. Oh my gosh, I love that I didn't know that about you, but it's so right. Like that makes perfect sense to me about you. You're just the sweetest thing ever, and you're so close with your siblings, and you all have the sweetest relationship ever. And that's like your parents just did a really good job of encouraging that relationship, you know, like the friendship.
Yeah,
That's
I
super
mean, I'm
cute.
grateful for them. To be perfectly honest, my siblings are my best friends, so it is
Oh.
what it is.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Moni, definitely wouldn't mind listening to your lives if you did one. I'm like a sailor also. See, to each his own. You know what I mean? To each his own.
Yeah,
Love it.
exactly.
Although I would, if you'd be willing, if you're able to be exposed to cursing, I still
Yeah,
would
of course.
absolutely love to do that because you could tell us that we're goats and stuff, and that'd be great. Like you're being such a goat right now. Although in America, that's a compliment because you're the greatest of all time.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is true.
We'd have to work on it. We'd have to pick some other animal like a rhino. I love rhinos. I actually was almost sending you a picture of a rhino that I took at the zoo as one of our references because it was looking right at me. And I was just like, I never get a good animal reference picture outside of my dog.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, Laura. Laura just said her son repeats everything she says, so she literally can't curse and she still watches her mouth around her mom. I love it. Thank you. It's so interesting. Okay, we're doing like a live paint and chat, and I
It's
would
all in
never think,
Spanish. I love it.
yeah. But that's the thing, like I would never think this topic would come up. But that's what I love about your lives. I've heard so many different things during your lives, like that I wouldn't have expected to learn about you. I don't know, it's just fun. I love these things. I love
Yeah.
lives. I have not looked at the comments. I'm just going to take a second really quickly and catch up.
Yeah, cool.
Oh,
I do
Moni's
flash
getting a
them
ton
up
of
on the
love.
screen as well, as you
Oh,
said.
okay, nice. Each one?
Yeah. So when I
Oh,
go through, I actually flash them up. So if you have YouTube open, like if
yes.
you were looking at that, then you would be able to see the comments. So as
Okay.
I'm
Oh, okay,
painting, I
okay.
just flash them up every so
Oh, I
often.
don't even need to. Then I'm going to make this bigger. I don't even need to have that live stream side thing up that I always have up when I'm like just watching instead of
Yeah.
participating.
Like, can you see my
Cool.
niece comment now? Happy accidents. I think she
Yes.
was
Yeah.
talking
No,
about it bleeding. Yeah.
I appreciate you because I told you there would be some at least. I mean, it wouldn't be right if there weren't any issues with me understanding how to do any of this. That would just be weird. I'm trying to think how I want to do those like lighter spots on the little path. That's the thing that you do look like you're done. You know what though? I watched
No.
enough of your lives to know that this is how it always works. I always think you're done way
Yeah.
earlier than you are.
And then I just keep going and going and
It
going.
always looks good. It always looks so good. So I'm here for it. But yeah, that is so funny how far you are versus how slow I'm being.
I
Sorry.
don't feel like I'm far, and also I'm using like a massive brush to not get bogged down in any details.
Gotcha. Well, that's wise. That's wise. That seems to be working well. I think I'm going to make like a little bit of a pinkier tone for this side of the mountain. That's like the last. I did try to do the big areas first. Like that was the thought process was let me do these
Mm.
big areas of the mountains and the path and this like ground area before I get into all these little pieces. I'm not going to try to make them all as piecey as this is either. My
Yeah,
plan is
no.
to do big, just do chunks to suggest bushes and trees, but not necessarily the way this did it, you know?
Hmm.
Ooh, but I'm happy with the sky, how it came out with the super granulating colors. That is really fun. Oh, this is
Yeah,
a
that
fun
looks
one to paint.
lovely.
This is a really fun one to paint. I'm excited about
And
this.
it's such a clever idea. Like I wouldn't have thought to, try and change it using Canva. Like I use Canva for thumbnails and overlays and like to edit paintings I've already done, but I hadn't thought of like using an effect and then like painting that and using
Well,
that
the
as a
only
reference.
reason I have done this before, I figured it out because when I did that ArtTube Q&A video a while ago, where I
Mm,
answered, I did my year on YouTube and I answered questions about like having a YouTube channel and all that stuff. And I was painting a fox with super granulating colors for that, and
mm.
I just wasn't liking any of the thumbnails I was coming up with on Canva. And that was the first time I tried the paint effects. And I tried the paint effects on my painting of a fox. And it was so cute. And I wanted to paint that painting. So that's when I realized like how we did our oh gosh, our CNA,
CNS
the
calling.
telephone. Yeah, our
Yeah.
telephone. It was like, oh my gosh, I could do that with myself by using that. So that's kind of how I saw it. Was like, oh, I'm doing art telephone with myself. That's how I figured. So yeah, feel free to take that idea. There are a ton of different what would you
Like
call
you
it? Like in
said.
digital art, you would call them paintbrushes and stuff. It's just different styles under that. It's not just one way that you can do it.
Yeah.
And
No, like I've seen it.
they're
I've
cool.
just never thought to actually use them. So that's something that I definitely want to try using in the future.
I think that would be really cool to see what you do with it. Now, when you went back and looked at your year, do
Mm.
you see all my comments where I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so amazing.
Yeah.
Your work has become so incredible over this year. But I remember like if people go back and look at your way, way old stuff, there is to me a very obvious growth. Like there's
Really?
very obvious growth. Do you see that when you go back and look?
Um, to be perfectly honest, no. Which is like not in a bad way. Like it's not like I look at my art, I'm like, oh, it's trash. It's every like I'm quite fortunate in that a lot of the time when I look back on art that I've created, I like it, whether it be like I never think anything is perfect, but I'm always like relatively happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, when I was looking back, that's part of the reason actually I just released a sketchbook tour, which is the second
Yeah.
half of all the art I created in 2022.
It was
And
gorgeous.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm still nocturnal, so I was actually asleep, but I need to go and watch your video. I just got a notification for it.
I was asleep. Good. I'm glad you were asleep. Someone made a comment before about your sleep patterns, and I totally agree. It's like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh, is she okay?
they
Is she
are
gonna be okay?
so wild. Honestly, so wild. It's unreal. But looking at it, I can't see like when I look at the beginning of the year, I can't see like a difference. And I think like part of it is also because I don't tend to like I jump around a lot. Like I'll go
Mhm.
through a month of watercolor, then a month of gouache, then a month of florals, then a month of landscapes. And I think as a result, it doesn't really give me much time to like hone in. But it's
Mhm.
interesting to see because you're not the first person to have said that. Like a few people have said like, "Oh wow, your art has really changed and really
Yeah.
improved." And I'm like, "Oh, I can't see it, but good to know."
Well, what's funny is there are certain times you'll do a particular piece, and I'll be like, oh my
Mm.
gosh, that's old school. She just did an old school sketches painting, which would be like, your oh gosh, it was what the first Instagram stuff I watched from you. It was like places. I don't know if they were all in Africa.
Oh
I feel like they might
yeah.
have been. Were they all in Africa?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was for Black History Month. I did
Yes.
like yeah.
Yes. I
So
stinking loved those. Those were my favorite that you had done at that time. Like those were my favorite that I'd ever seen from you. And you recently did, oh gosh, I'm trying to, it is one of your sketchbook tours. I think it was the first sketchbook tour that you recently did, not the one from today. And
yeah.
it was like one from, it was like one of the domes. You love your domes. It was over the
Oh
river.
yeah.
It was just the colors, but it was very like loose and freeform. And that reminded me of that old school. It was like purples and
I
pinks. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
have no idea.
It was like
Purples and
three.
pinks don't.
It was like three domes in the distance. I'm stinking at describing this. It's actually very hard to describe someone else's art. I'm gonna have to find it on your
No.
Instagram and send it to you. But
Oh, it's on Instagram.
it isn't. I mean, I'm assuming it must be. Maybe it's not. Have you not been posting to Instagram as much?
No, I kind of stopped. Like I mean, I go through ebbs and flows in it, but I tend to like I've been prioritizing YouTube. So it's like, oh, if I
Mhm.
have strength, then I'll make a YouTube video. And I've tried to spend less time on Instagram just because it feels like a vortex. Every time I log in there, I end up spending like hours. Like I don't know what
Yes.
happens.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true. That's very true. I just look at the feed for pictures and stuff, but I go through the reels
Yeah.
and the stories a lot. I see you're on stories
Yeah.
all the time, so uh,
Yeah.
but I guess I just assumed I missed you in my feed because I don't like scroll all the way down. So I'll just assume, oh, I'm sure she's posting. I just probably missed it. But you're
No,
not posting, so that's good to know.
I don't post as often. So I did like I think I posted once this week. So maybe I'll post like 4 times a month. Like certainly not like a massive amount. Like I did say I want to try and post more because it is fun and it is nice to like look back on. And when I was doing this review and I looked back on my Instagram, I'm like, oh great, I have like 10 posts on here. Like
Well, you have a backlog.
yeah,
You have a backlog you can easily use.
that is
Yeah,
true.
no, I just, oh, see there, I used that more like that purpley color you used. That was what I was, let me try to do this. There we go.
Mm.
But yeah, I think that Instagram can be frustrating, especially with all this AI stuff happening. I am a little bit more nervous to put stuff on Instagram than
Yeah.
live videos. Although I don't know if it can steal live videos too. Does anyone in the chat know that? If the new AI like art theft thing
I
steals
feel like it can
videos too?
take art theft from everywhere, which
Oh
is
my
a
gosh.
bit depressing. Nobody's safe.
That's really
There are some
scary.
questions in there's some questions. One's from Diane. I don't know Matthew Palmer. I have his books, but don't see him on YouTube anymore. No, I don't know. I don't know him, but
I've
I'll
never
keep
heard
an
of
eye
that
out.
one.
Yeah.
Does he have a
Um,
different channel name than his name that we don't, like maybe we would recognize? I just don't recognize that name. So maybe
and
that's
then
the
someone's asked, "What are your favorite?" Oh, Astrocleo, hey, asked, "What are you guys' favorite watercolor or gouache art books?" Do you have a favorite gouache art book?
Oh, I do. Not gouache, although, well, okay, Lena Rivo, Lenorrivo, Lena
Does she have a
Rivo.
book?
She has like a book that you can get for free, like or it used to be free. I don't know if she charges for it now, but it's like a how to gouache basically ebook
Oh,
that you can get if you sign up for her newsletter. And I found that super helpful. But more so with things like art, that's why I was so drawn to YouTube. I find live tutorials a lot more helpful for me to understand, like to watch a medium move around. But there was like
mm,
a watercolor 365, I think, that had like 365 days of watercolor tasks. And then I have a 15-minute watercolor. I don't have it up here. I was looking around. I don't have it in my art studio. I have it downstairs on my kitchen table. But there's like a 15-minute watercolor paintings, I think it's called. I can email later, put it on my community tab or something, that I just got from the library. And I almost wanted to start with that with you. I was almost like, do you want to warm up with these? These look great. So
mm.
I can't really vouch for it yet because I haven't read it yet, but it looks amazing and I'm very excited about it. But what about you?
I am not a reader. I keep trying. I'm sure everyone's like, wait, what? Isn't she a doctor? Like, what did she just
Yes.
say? Um, and I don't know, that's perhaps part of the problem that I feel like I've dedicated so much time to reading that I'm just like,
Yeah.
ah. So the one, actually, I have a couple of books. I just don't, I want to read, I want to learn from others. So I keep getting books, whether it be through the library or like actually buying books, but I don't actually tend to read them as much. One that I've started reading is James Gurney's book, which is Light and Color or Color and Light, something along them lines. If it's quite a ow, but my foot. It's quite a
Oh
popular
no.
book. Um, and it's is it for gouache? It is for gouache, but it's also I think it kind of goes beyond that because it just covers like general basics that would apply to any medium. Um, and that I found really interesting. Has loads of pictures, has like the color wheel, explains like different theories, explains like how to paint shadows, light in general. So that's quite a good book. And then I got Minnie Small's book, like the 30
Oh yeah,
sketchbook.
she's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, she's one of the channels that I honestly loved even before like I started painting, which is quite odd. I guess I should have known the interest was there, but I would just like love watching watching her videos.
Yes.
So
I know
yeah,
what you
I've got
mean.
her.
I know what you mean. That's how Lee Ellickson was for me and
Mm,
Sandy Huster. They were just so fun. Like you're hanging out with someone who's fun and interesting.
yeah.
And that's definitely how Minnie Small is for sure. There are a lot of YouTube channels like that. Peter Draws is another one that I watched before, and I have no interest in doing like those super detailed as you can probably tell, right? Like I don't do super detailed stuff. I like to be fast and loose and just get in, get out, enjoy myself, like relax and then be done. He relaxes by doing these like super intricate things, but he's so wild. Like the stuff he does, you just would never understand or predict or see coming. It's just so random. Like he did it. Let me give you an example. He did this pen review and he army crawled down the hallway with his hoodie all the way up and the strings pulled as tight as possible. So there's only like this much of his face showing. And he did these like moaning and growling sounds. And then he got to the end and he was like, I'm going to review this pen. It was so weird. It was so weird. I was dying laughing. I was like, why? Why did you do that?
Like, how did that cross his mind?
Well, right. Like, and was the brand that like gifted him that pen to review super excited about? Like, I don't know. I don't know how they felt about it. I love that review and I watch it all the time. And I did buy that pen, so that like there tells you something. Like, it's just so random. So I loved him and I watched him way before I even had any interest in art. So yeah, those are some fun ones. But no, I'm definitely more of a video person than a book person for art stuff.
Yeah.
But there are some really good books. We're just probably not the best ones to ask, apparently.
Yeah. Very, very heavily like YouTube inspired.
Yes. Yes.
I've got some books from the library, but I've had them for a year. I haven't really like I flicked through them, but I haven't really like delved into them. But when I do, I will let you know what my favorite books are. And if anyone has a favorite book or a book they'd want to recommend, then please let us and Astrobule know. Oh, someone said Sarah Simon has a book and I'm doing a video, entire book collection. That'd be cool. Oh, Domestica class. Let me see.
Ooh, botanicals.
I've literally just done a Domestica class today. Well, I started one.
You or are you reading a comment?
No. Me. I've started one as in like taking the class, not creating the class.
Oh.
And yeah, just one of my goals for last year. You know, I've achieved so much this year, and I'm so grateful for everything that we've like been doing this year, and like all the new subscribers and the MVPs. That's me opening Coke, by the way. But like almost all the goals that I set last year, I did not hit. And one of them.
No! What's an example?
Well, I wanted to like, for example, paint 50 portraits. I painted 4.
Okay.
I wanted to do like art courses. Was one of the things I wanted to do, just in terms of I wanted to create art courses. That was one, but I also wanted to like do actual art courses and just invest in I guess learning, because I feel like I'm very self-taught, which is fine, but self-taught and take no influence from anyone else. Does that make sense? Like I don't
right.
It's not like I'm self-taught and I'm doing courses, I'm reading books. I'm literally like self-taught and like playing around with paint and seeing what I like and what I don't like. So I feel like sometimes I get to like I'm just taking the long way to to certain skills, which I think is fine in a sense, but I just wanted to experiment with doing courses. Didn't do a single one, but what I did do was buy some Domestica classes in at Christmas time that I've just started kind of going through, and I'll put a link down below because I've got an affiliate link for them. But it's really, really good. I don't want to show it yet because it's part of a video, and I feel like all I do on these live streams is just give so many spoilers. At some point, people will be like, is there even any point in watching her videos? I'm like that person who can't keep like her gift to herself. Does that make sense? Like if I buy you a gift, I feel like I have to let you know straight away. So I always buy gifts like right before I have to give them and things. I love a good spoiler. But I hate
gatekeeping queen. No gatekeeping on your channel. I love it.
Exactly. But yeah, let me see. But thank you, Mary Goddess. I will have a look at that. And then I've heard good things about the Silver Book. Does anyone...
I've never heard of Marie Goddess. That's a cool. I'll look into that.
No, I haven't either. I'll make a note of it. And Moni's asked if anyone likes Instagram. Me, Honestly, since they did this whole we're not a photo sharing platform kind of thing, and it just
Yeah.
became like this throttle of continuous, I'm gonna change it to the two of us again. Just this like continuous, reel after reel after picture as a reel, like I kind of got a bit turned off. Wow, you're paying, oh my gosh.
What?
You
Oh,
know,
have
when
you
it's
not
so
looked at
small,
mine?
I can't. No, because when it's so small, I can't see anything. I can barely see mine much. That's why I keep making it bigger. That's so cool.
Oh,
Let me see
thank
if I can
you.
make it
I'm
even
loving it.
bigger.
It's really
Hmm.
fun. This is a fun way to do this with these abstract shapes. It just feels super low pressure, like cartoony. I don't know. The way I'm doing it, I feel like is cartoony almost. What
It's amazing.
I'm fighting right now my leave no white demons. So like I think this looks cool because of the contrast right now, and I'm just like systematically eliminating the
Yeah.
contrast, and I need to stop.
No, it looks super cool.
Oh,
Like
awesome.
super, super cool. I
Thank
love
you.
how you can, like, I love the shapes that you have. I love the colors. I do love the contrast and the white.
Yeah, so I need to leave it. I'm gonna leave
And the
it.
and also the patterns that you've kind of like done.
Thank you so
Like I
much. Oh
can
my
actually
gosh.
see the patterns. Whereas,
Thank you. I love yours. The colors keep getting deeper and deeper, and I love that you have turquoise. It right now it is, yeah, I mean, it is almost looking like there's a stream next to the path, which I love.
yeah.
I just love it. I just love it. And you know I love your gouache. You always go for super vibrant colors, and I'm always here for it. I just oof. Like I'm saying, when I watched your sketchbook tour this morning, and I didn't get all the way through because we were coming to this. I didn't finish. I commented before I was done, so I didn't answer whatever the MVP question was yet. I will go back into that. But I was just so blown away, and I saw a lot of them when you were creating them, but I just am completely blown away. I definitely see a progression. I do think it's hard. It's like if people see you every day and you lose weight, people don't notice it. But people who haven't seen you in
Yeah.
forever are like, "Oh my gosh, you lost so much weight." That is like what it was. It's probably like for yourself because you see your art all the time
All
while
the
you're making
time.
it.
Yeah.
I'm sure every time you're probably like, "That could have been better," because that's how we are to ourselves. We're fans of other people's art and super hard on our own. So I'm sure that you like things about it, but I know you're probably always like, oh, next time I'll try to do this different or that better or
Yeah.
this different. And I'm just seeing, holy smokes, she has gotten crazy skilled. Like your skill level is just through the roof.
Oh.
I will tell you this, as a someone just watching, I wonder if people in the chat feel this way too. When I used to watch your pieces on live chat, like very beginning of live chats, I had a little bit of a like, oh, I wonder if this is gonna, how this is gonna go. Like the way I feel when I paint, like, oh, I hope this turns
Yeah.
out well. I don't feel that way at all when I watch you now. I'm always like, it's definitely gonna come out good.
No,
I have
I,
zero
I, I
anxiety.
always, I always feel like, oh, how's this gonna go? How's it gonna be? And I'm like, you know what? It's fine. Not everything can be 100% perfect, and I actually don't mind. I kind of like that little, we're living on the edge. We're living dangerously, if you like, with
For
with
sure with
everything.
lines. For sure with
Definitely,
lines. Yeah.
definitely. I feel
Oh,
like, some people would have, you know, practiced beforehand, or
oh,
me. What I
never
saw,
meet me.
never
I do not
me.
practice.
I
There's zero practicing in my life. I
what
don't
I
do.
saw the reference photo like what 10 minutes before this live stream. I was
Yes,
like, yeah, let's go for it.
I'm so impressed with that though. I love that. I love it. I love it. All right, I think I have to stop messing with this in a minute. I think I have to stop messing with this, or I'm going to regret my life. I I don't know. How are you feeling about yours? This is why I like watercolor. It is fast for me. It is a
Yeah,
fast thing.
it's super fast. I don't know. I kind of want to do more details. I almost feel like I love the colors that I hear, but I want to have certain things, I think, a little bit more defined so that you can tell what you're looking at. It feels
Mhm.
very, very abstract right now.
Oh
That's what
yeah,
it's
yeah.
feeling like.
They definitely both feel abstract to me. Um,
Yeah.
but I'm loving it. Like I never do this. I never do stuff like this, and I'm excited. Like it's super duper fun. I wonder if anyone in the comments are doing like painting this reference. Oh, Moni
If
said,
you are painting, let us know.
wait, what?
I was going to say in the chat, if you guys are painting this, then please let us know. Because I am
Oh,
super curious.
Moni said she got the course for learning how to get loose, which I think is so clutch for her because she is so organized and she is so like she plans her paintings for so long and then she'll like work on them for months sometimes, which I love about her
Yeah.
channel and I love watching it because it's so different from my process. Like I don't know that I would do art if I did art that way because I would be so like it's why I don't do super detailed stuff like what Peter Draws does because I would just get so frustrated because I want to see it. Yeah, I want to get there. You know what I mean?
Finished.
Like that's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
impatient style. So I think that's super smart. That like that would be the equivalent of me taking one that's like slow down, focus on details, have a plan of any kind. Like that would be good for me.
I feel like
Oh,
we'd
that's
need the
so
same
cute.
class. Because for me, again, I'm like, oh, start and see where it goes. No, I don't like detail. Yes, I'm only going to do this in one sitting. So
Right,
it can either be hit
right.
or miss.
Oh,
And as for planning, like even I was saying, one of the things that was taking me so long, I think, with YouTube videos is that I don't plan. Like I'm very like a lot of the videos, I'm just like, oh, I feel like doing this, press record and like start and see how it goes. Like
yeah.
literally the video that I did on like my favorite art supplies was again just like that. I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
why did I do it? I think I wasn't going to do it initially. I was going to do the sketchbook tour, and I kind of felt, how did this start? I'm trying to think. Hold on. So I think initially I was thinking, oh, I can't really do a sketchbook tour because I haven't made that much art. I don't know why I was thinking that or feeling that or whatever. But I was just like, oh, I haven't made much art, so there's no point. And I also felt like I couldn't do a favorites video because I was like, I haven't made enough art to say anything is my favorite. So then I did the sketchbook tour, and in doing the sketchbook tour, I was like, huh, I did make more art than I thought. And there are some clear favorites, some things that I obviously keep going back to over and over and over again. Um, Let me just make a video talking about that. And that's how like that video ended up happening. But it wasn't like there was, planning or I wrote things out or I knew what art supplies I was going to write or anything like that. I could have very easily missed out something. I was just like, I just tend to
I,
do it as if I'm talking to someone, as if it's live, and then do as much as I can in editing.
oh yeah. And you do a good job with that. I feel like some videos that you make though are just extraordinarily planned out, like to a ridiculous degree from my perspective as someone who knows how much work must have gone into that. You know, like when I see your videos, like know what work you put in to do that, and I'm just like, man, that is like a 20-hour plus gig right there that she just did. Like probably more for a lot of them. I mean, some of the guides and things like that, like the how-tos, the explanations, you just get
Oh
super
yeah.
into it. And I just oh, I so appreciate it as someone who watches your stuff and learns from that, but it's just like I just know how much you had to do to get that to happen, and it's just so intimidating to me. So
The
I
ones
love
that
hearing that you let loose and do some of those sort of more off the cuff ones because that's really nice.
yeah, more than not, that's what I do. The ones that I think tend to have more detail, take more time, usually tend to be requests. So like the pigments video, that took that
Oh
took a
wow.
lot
Yeah.
of time to,
Yep.
and it was more so like the reading because I wanted it to like be, like to actually be helpful, to be correct. So like the amount of reading, and then I wanted to put the information but make it fun and like just setting all that up. That took time, and that was a request from a Kofi member, and then the video on what paper to use for gouache, that
Yes.
also took that
Yep.
took so long.
I have no
But
doubt.
again, but again, that wasn't initially my intention. My initial plan was to just do a few swatches and call it, and then like have that be that. And then as I was doing that, I was like, I just don't feel like this is enough. Like you're not getting, you know, you're not
Yeah.
getting enough information. I need to do more, and that's how I ended up doing like a 6 paintings for that video.
I'm just telling you, there's so many on your channel where I'm just like, how, with a full-time job, how? With a full-time job, how? Because the amount of footage I know you probably took, the amount of footage you edited, not just planning out what you're going to say and researching and all. Oh my gosh, I can't. So anyways, I'm just know you're very appreciated. You're very appreciated. And those are resources. What do they call those? Like evergreen videos? Those are
Yeah.
evergreen videos where people can stumble on them whenever and still get as much out of them as they would if they found them the first day.
Yeah,
This is
no.
so cute.
I think my laptop is starting to struggle with all the editing though, because like, yes, so for this video that I posted, the sketchbook tour, every time I pressed play to like watch, you know, what I'm editing, like, you know how you watch it and then you cut out bits or you use volume or whatever. Every time I pressed play, there was a 30-second buffering period where it was just like,
Ooh.
30 seconds. So then I didn't want to press play, and I'm there trying to remember, like, oh, where do I need to make the cuts? because
Oh
because I
no.
can't pause, because I can't play. So it's just, that's why I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's taking so long. But hey ho, I would be lying if I said this wasn't fun. Like it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. But it's just that it's nice that you do a mix of videos, not just those super duper ridiculously hard to put together ones, but also the ones that are more fun for you and fun for people watching, because those are super utilitarian, what's the word, like super useful for people watching, but maybe just a lot more work and a lot harder to do. Bye, Annie. Thank you so much for coming.
Bye.
Yeah, this is also just fun for you, and I'm glad that you do such a good mix. You know what I mean? Where it's not just, oh no. See, I thought I could do that. See, so am I driving you all nuts that I took my tape off before I was done with everything touching the ends? I thought I was, but now I'm still doing stuff that touches the ends. And
I was looking at it and I was like, wow, you've got like really clean borders. How did you do that? Whereas
no. Well, do you have tape on, or are you doing it?
No, I should have put tape on, but I was
no,
just like,
I think it was cool. No. I think that's fun.
I'll
like
probably
that's the
end up
thing.
Cutting it or something.
There are people who do that, like the super loose borders, especially with urban sketching, and I love it. Like I love when urban sketchers do that, and I don't know how they make it look so good. Like Tio Yi Chi. Oh my gosh.
She's another channel that I was watching way before I even considered a YouTube channel. Like I just love, like I don't know how he does it, but he has like a video on everything, like every art supply that's to be reviewed, every book, like I genuinely do not know how he has the time and how he creates all these things. I know he's making slightly less, I assume because he now has 2 kids, but still, like, he makes so much.
He already had so many. Like he every fountain pen I've ever wanted, he definitely has a review on it. So yeah, he's another also like a fountain pen addiction feeder. He's another one that feeds my
See, I didn't even know that because I don't have like fountain pens. So I didn't even know that. And I was thinking about all his YouTube videos and like, and his urban sketching videos, his watercolor videos, his like book reviews, like anything I search, oh, I'm looking for this. Is there a review? He'll come up. Like, this is incredible.
Always. I actually found him right at the beginning of the pandemic because I'm obviously, probably at this point, you can tell, an extrovert. And so I was like missing that being out at a coffee shop thing. I've always been a person who studies out at coffee shops, who, like, I studied for the bar at Barnes & Noble years ago when it was like still popping off and it was still hot. It was still a hot place to go. And I would just study there with all the ambient noise and stuff, whereas other people studying for the bar would be like, how can you study there? I could not think there. Like, how can you do that? And so I just miss that, like the sounds of a busy place. And watching he has a huge archive of like cafe sketching videos, like outdoor sketching videos, and I would just have them playing. Had no idea anything about urban sketching. It was just such a fun, relaxing thing to watch, and it was just like seeing the atmosphere and just really cool. And then that led me to Doodle Date. Do you like Doodle Date? Have you heard of them? They're in the UK too.
I've like heard of them, but I haven't. I think I've watched like one video. Like it's a couple. Is what
Yes.
I yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I like watched one video where I think they were reviewing something, but I never like I didn't watch any anymore.
They're very quirky and funny and adorable together and very sweet to each other and have a ton
Oh,
of inside jokes. And they had cafe videos, really old, like 5+ years old videos. And I would watch
oh.
those too. And because they're just so cute, like he'll say, "Oh, honey," like that. He's really sweet there. So I like really had a fun time watching them. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of a lot of people. Yeah, see, Moni said Doodle Date are so adorable. Yeah, they're just literally adorable. They're so cute. So I watched, they're another one whose lives I'll like try to catch. I do think I'm done. I want to stop with mine, but no, we're not done with the live stream. We talked about being able to do another one. So I'm just
Okay.
going to let this dry. So if you want to just put yours up and the, oh, I guess you can't, right? You need to have me or I like get muted or something.
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly. No, so we all get to admire your beautiful work. I do feel like I'll be done soon. I just wanted to change like certain bits. But
I'm having that temptation to keep going when I know I shouldn't.
I
I know I shouldn't. The only thing I think maybe this doesn't have nearly enough contrast. When I tried lifting this, like this side of the mountain, and it didn't lift. So I'm thinking I need to make this part a little darker. That's the only thing I have permission to change. I need to rein it in. Rein it in. Oh, so at what point, this is actually a question I have for you. At what point do you
Mm.
decide this, I'm good with this, I need to stop fiddling with it? Is it like a structured thing or is it different with every painting? Is there a theory about it or is that just like a go with your gut thing?
I think it's different for every painting and very much like a go with my gut. Like it just I don't know. I feel like it's quite often when I'm just like, oh, I like it now. Like there's nothing that I can see that I want to add to it. Does that make sense?
I like it.
And as long as I can see something that I can add, I'm like, it's not finished. Or or sometimes it's just like a question of time. So say for example, if I know, oh, I don't have much time, then I will make, I guess, a more conscious decision, like in terms of the strokes that I put down and the detail that I put down, to know that it's not going to be exactly what I wanted or exactly what I had in mind initially, but it's going to be enough to have it be finished. Um,
Right.
like now, for example, I'm just going to like start putting in some small details and then we will pretty much call that done.
Woohoo! It's so pretty. I love it. So can I ask, why did you pick, what drew you to that landscape? Because I sent you like 50 million pictures I'd taken on hikes.
I don't know. I think maybe it was like I don't know, maybe it was like the composition, like the path was there. And
Mm,
although I feel like although the colors were simple, I really like the shapes that I could see in it. Does that make
hmm.
sense?
Yeah, it totally
And it's
does.
also something quite different, I feel, to what I have done, like in terms of I do loads of things with like water and lots of foliage and lots of greenery, and this almost felt more like a desert.
Yeah, it did. It does. It's so funny because I don't think of Colorado as a desert, but it actually is technically.
Yeah.
Can I give a shout out to the chat and ask you to just make sure you are subscribed to Sketches and give her a like if you're just hanging out with us because I do see 34 people in the chat with us. So if you would
And
be so kind as to give her a like for her live stream, it really helps her have the video shown to more people so people can come hang out with
and
us.
And also, obviously, check out Creating Cute Art. Go and subscribe to her channel. You probably know I've mentioned her channel so many times on
My
all my
first
videos, whether it be because of my palette or anything else. And that's because it's just such a good vibe. Like when you go there, it's beautiful art, but also it feels like you're hanging out with a friend. Like I started looking forward to your videos on Sundays. Like you're the reason that I
Oh,
started having a bit more of a schedule because I was like, every Sunday I am waiting around for your video. Is this why people talk about having schedules? Because like because I'd literally be like, oh yay, it's Sunday, great, I get to watch your video. Like it became a thing of like I get to sit down, relax, get a drink, and just watch your videos and comment. Um,
oh. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you to say. I will
So
tell you
yeah.
while she's still doing that, I'm going to show you some cute pictures. So I did this little Highland calf to start my sketchbook. Is this
Oh
not so
wow.
adorable? I love that little bear. And then his eyes you couldn't even see in the reference because he was so fuzzy, so I just went with it. And then this is just a funny owl with super granulating
Oh.
colors. He's so
It looks like
funny.
he has an expression on his face.
He does. He totally does. And this is a fun. Oh, thank you, Laura, for subscribing. I appreciate you. And this is just a really fun. I've had this reference for this turtle in my like saved reference pile from Pixabay or Pexels or whatever forever, and I'm so intimidated by it. So this was actually one of the only times that I printed the picture, like the reference picture, and did that thing where you like go over the back of it with graphite and then tape
Oh,
it down,
transfer
you
it
know,
over.
and like
Yeah.
trace it, yeah, transfer. And then I was able to get a lot more of the details in the lines because again, I'm not a detail person. So, and then this is a fuzzy bunny that I have a video going with this one about how to paint with super granulating colors. So that leads, and I
And
think
then
that
this.
actually goes
Wow.
well with this. Like that actually goes well. This could be where this bunny lives. You
And
know
just to
what? If
clarify,
Moni's saying that,
this
yeah, go
is your
ahead.
new sketchbook? The
Yes.
one,
Yeah.
because you literally just did a sketchbook tour.
Yeah. I just started this one. And I'm already, you know me. I
That
have
is
to do art every day.
incredible.
I have
That
to
is
do art every
honestly
day.
so incredible.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Well, here's the thing. You always have so many sketchbooks going. I have two. You just have so many sketchbooks going that I feel like it would be harder to get that satisfaction because you're never like, it takes you longer to fill a sketchbook because you're working in 17 billion sketchbooks at a time. So,
At the same time.
yes, I do have
Even
two going, but it's easier to fill two.
both of my sketchbook tours don't actually have a complete sketchbook.
Exactly, but I appreciate them.
I'm
I'm glad
like,
that you
oh.
push yourself to just do it anyway because I love your sketchbook tours. You do the things that I don't do. Like you do the things that I'm scared to do. Like I wouldn't have done a landscape today, but for this live stream. Also, while
Yeah,
I'm
part of me thought you'd pick an animal. I was like, oh, this is gonna be interesting.
no,
It's
no,
gonna
I
be wild.
specifically did not. I specifically did not. I have these Van Gogh washi tapes. Do you see that's like a Starry Night? And that's like a haystacks and this green one. I don't know what it is, but it's clearly from Van Gogh. So I love these. I got these on Amazon, but they're just really cute. I love cute washi tape. Don't you just, is it just me?
I for some reason unknown, I'm not like a pattern person, so you'll probably be so sad to see my washi tape
Oh
because let me see if I have
no.
it to hand. Because it's like I feel like it describes where is it? Do I have it to hand? I got this like because I'm always grabbing stuff during my live stream. I got this little caddy next to me to try and be more organized, but I'm not. Basically, oh, I can't find it. Where did I put it? I can't find it, but it's essentially just black. Like
Oh my
that's
gosh. I know people who do that. I know people who do that. And I'm like, why? I guess I get it because this could be distracting. It's like a color. It's not a blank, it does take away from the blank page effect. But I just love washi tape. I love it so much. It makes me so happy. But I wanted a little bit of a thinner border with this, but I still wanted this color. So now I'm having to do a little work to get it to make sense. Okay. So I'm prepping a new page, not knowing what we're going to paint next. We do have a lot of reference pictures we could paint from. But I will say, yes, I am scared of landscapes. I'm scared of botanicals the most, though, because I feel like you are a great example of why. Okay, you will do a botanical, and it's like the easiest thing. You can tell you're just like, this is basically sleeping. Like, I might as well be asleep. I literally could do botanicals in my sleep. You made a comment on one of your videos where you were like, I mean, I could have, in your 10-hour sketchbook challenge video, where you were like, I mean, I kind of wanted to finish a sketchbook, and obviously if I did all botanicals, it would have been so easy to fill all. And so I just decided to really challenge myself by doing anything other than botanicals, so it would actually be hard. And I was just thinking to myself, like, oh my gosh, is she kidding right now? Is she kidding right now? I'm trying to fix my lighting. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. Pardon my lighting experiments.
It's so funny. Like I guess odds low because you probably feel the same. Like for me, it's like animals. Like I think I sent you the paintings of the only animals I've ever like painted. Do you remember? When
Oh
did
my
I send
gosh,
it to
they
you?
were
Yeah.
so cute.
I
They were so
was,
cute.
'cause I was like, hey, yeah, like this is pretty much it. And I remember not last year, but the year before, I don't. This is the reason I haven't done a goals video as well. Part of me is almost like, is there any point? And I think that there is because it can give you focus and things. But the year before, my goal was to paint 50 animals. I painted two. Like you can clearly see that.
A lot of these like 50 challenges that you're doing.
Yeah, they're
Um,
literally just there for banter. Like I'm not actually creating anything, despite that.
oh, oh. You know what? I think I am gonna do another owl
Mm,
without a reference. That's what would make this hard. I think I'm gonna do an owl
that's
without a reference, and
insane.
I'm probably gonna regret it. But we're whatever. We're live. We're doing it. We're doing it, guys. We're doing it. If
Yeah,
you
go
guys are
for it.
brave, I'll be brave.
I
So
don't even
okay,
know what it would
I'm
look
just gonna
like.
I'm just gonna do a general shape. It's gonna be cute.
Do
If we've met the
you quite
only
often
requirement. What?
do things without like a reference?
Just owls and bunnies. Just the things that I do. Like with you with botanicals.
Mm,
Like if you could do it, like if you've done it a bunch, then you can
yeah.
do it again. But no, very rarely. Now I've got to pick. Ooh, you know what? We can let the chat pick. Which of these gorgeous, super granulating colors do you want the background to be for this owl boy, well, owl baby? When I say boy, I'm picturing BOI, boy, little boy. But a lot of people love tundra violet, deep sea violet, lunar blue. Oh my gosh, glacier green. Obviously, green apatite genuine is a stunner. What do you guys think? I'm going to be watching the chat.
It
What
took
do you
me
think?
forever to get on board with super granulated watercolors, and I think your channel was part of it, like your palette. When I started seeing them being, because I was like, how am I gonna use them? They're not that great, blah blah. And I don't want everything to granulate. But then when I started seeing them on your channel, I was like, huh, perhaps I judged this too harshly.
A lot of people are mad about super granulating colors. I get it if because they are so expensive, but you
Yeah,
do not need to buy all these colors. I buy these colors because
no,
art supplies are what I spend my money on. Some people buy shoes, I don't. Some people buy coffee, I don't. I just buy art supplies, as you know, and I have a channel to help feed the addiction. So, yeah, you could just get a PBK. What is it like? 11.
11. Yeah.
Yeah, and mix that with almost any color and it'll become a beautiful super granulated color. So don't. All right, I saw glacier green. Hold on. I saw a glacier green request. So I think that's what we'll do. And also, I just haven't had enough opportunities to use it, and it's so pretty. So I will do that. Happy to do that. Woo! See, like that's the main thing about super granulating colors is how they just move and separate. And fountain pen inks are the main things that I know do that,
Mm.
in addition to super granulating colors. So I'm obsessed with that. There's something so therapeutic to me. Do you get that with watercolors, like seeing it just move and separate and do its own thing?
Yes, yeah. I think I didn't before. Well, let me not say that's not true. Like, I didn't quite fully appreciate it. And then when I started using 100% cotton watercolor paper and I started seeing them like blend into each other, because I don't like blooms and hard edges. So sometimes it'd be like, oh, it's blending. How's this gonna go? Is it gonna be nice and seamless? Or am I going to have to like try and fix it? Um, so whereas when I started using 100% cotton watercolor paper, I didn't have to stress about that, and it would blend beautifully. And I was like, oh, this is why. I
This is
honestly
why
can't wait to
people
show
love
you
this.
guys the yeah,
This
I
is why
can't
people
wait
are
to show you
obsessed with
guys
this.
the video.
Ugh.
Honestly,
I am
I
using
think
it's called ultramarine turquoise, by the way. This one, the blue second from the left, that's ultramarine turquoise, and I will use that. That's this one that I'm also using with the glacier green, just so you know. So yes, I will use that one too. But go ahead, sorry. You were saying.
no. I honestly can't wait to show you guys the video that I did because it's like a completely different watercolor style to what I normally do, but it's what I would love to do. It's what like in my head is like, this is watercolor. Um,
Ooh.
because like I just let it play around on the page and move around. Just need to actually edit it and then get
Oh.
it out.
All right. Are you starting to see the head appear, like the little shape of the animal appear?
Yes.
So that's how I do it. Whenever I want to paint without a reference, I do like to do the background first and just get like an idea of where this animal's going to be and what it's going to look
But
like.
did you sketch it first and I missed it?
No sketching. I'm just
Oh.
throwing it down. I'm just open to the best.
No reference and no sketching.
No reference. Hashtag no reference. I'm terrified. No, it's gonna be fine. You guys are so nice. That's the thing. I can't remember if you said that before we went live or if you said that just when it was us and I was telling you I was nervous. But yeah, people are so nice in your chat. So I'm not. I don't worry. I know that it could be awful, but they'll be really nice about it. The one thing that I do like to sketch are the eyes. So I do think I'll want to sketch that because the eyes are what make an owl cute. If you don't get the eyes right, it ain't gonna be cute. So that's once I have the eyes right, honestly, you can almost mess up anything else about an owl and it's still gonna be cute. So I like that better than this. Why isn't this?
Looking at some questions in the chat. So Laura asked if we'll try the Daniel Smith gouache. It's not, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, it's not available in the UK yet. When it becomes available, I don't know why I'm hesitating. Obviously, I'm addicted to art supplies, so probably. But,
I don't know why.
Probably, yes.
Well, people are mad. Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to say,
people kind of give it a bit of time in terms of before, like, I just feel like I have so much gouache and I have so much to do that I won't get stuff done if I keep buying new art supplies, which is why I'm maybe I should like wait a little bit. But then at the same time, like it'll be fun to experiment. I don't know, probably when it becomes available in the UK. What were you gonna say?
Oh, that some people are seeing Daniel Smith as like controversial because of their Primatech line. Like there's something going on with their Primatech line only having a tiny bit of like actual minerals or whatever it is that I can't remember why Primatech, but like the actual stones. Yeah. And I don't know. I've never been one. I'm not personally getting Daniel Smith because of any particular formulation or like materials in there. I'm a sketchbook girl. You know what I mean?
Colors, yeah.
Yeah, I'm here for the colors. Like Green Apatite Genuine is so pretty. I hope that's showing. But that color is just like a color I've never seen anywhere else or before. I hope that's coming across. It's so pretty. So that's an example. And then Cascade Green is another one that a lot of people are obsessed with. Moon Glow.
Yeah,
I do take heart that there are so many brands now getting in the game. So if you do have a problem with that brand, you don't have to worry about it. Like you'll have another option, but it's just I understand if people are like spending that money because of that, but I'm spending that money just for the color, which probably makes me sound silly to like quote unquote real artists, but I
don't think so.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here for the hue and for what it does in the water. But I definitely love Schminke. Like Schminke is probably my favorite brand for granulating watercolors. That's for sure.
For me, it's all about Romish Moore. The thing is,
I
liked Romish Moore before, and then now that they've gifted me,
their
watercolors, I literally feel like I'm in love. Like it's almost like like what can I do? And it's almost I still talk about this because I'm still shocked because I was like, you guys know I already told people that I love you, so it's not like you have to give me anything. Like I've already, I've already used you for a year. I've already told everybody. So, like, are you sure? Are you sure?
Oh, I could not get over your excitement in that video, and I will tell you that was the one time that I felt that jealousy that you would feel if you bought a lottery ticket for the like $1 billion lottery and someone won from the same gas station. That thing where you're like, oh, I'm so close to this luck. Like I'm so close to it because I know you. But I'm obviously thrilled for you. I'm so happy for you. It's not that. It's just like that whole like, was I that close to such a huge? It's literally like winning the lottery to get that many supplies. Didn't you feel that way? Weren't you like, I won the lottery? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I genuinely was. I was in complete shock. And not only that, I was in denial. So it's almost like I didn't say it, like I told my family, but I didn't tell anyone else. I didn't put it on Instagram. Like I didn't say anything about it because I was just in shock and denial. Like I didn't want to say anything and like jinx it or have them say, haha, I got you. Actually, we mistook you for somebody else.
Oh my
That
gosh.
was almost like, do you like what? Like, do you mean this? Like, is this actually going to happen? And then like when they arrived, I literally just like laid them out and stared at them silently for like 30 minutes. Like I just stared. I was just like, I have no words. I can't believe this.
It is like that. It is totally like that. I just can't. I mean, I'm thrilled because if ever there was someone that I would want to see get that, it's you. Like you are the sweetest person. And just to be clear with the chat, like I knew if I ever was on a chat with you in front of other people, I would say the exact same thing I say to you when we're alone. But like you are just the nicest person. Like it's crazy to me when people are exactly who they seem, because I think there is an expectation that people are different than they put out for the public, but this is who you are. You're like this for hours and hours on every live stream. You're like this behind closed doors. You're just a sweethearted person. You're a sweetheart. And so I'm thrilled that they gave that to someone who has such a sweet heart. But I also was like, hello, me too. I'm right here. I want all the watercolors in the world. How amazing. It's so
180.
amazing.
I'm just
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
over
still in awe.
Not over it. Not over
Yeah.
it. So amazing.
I bought like let me try and get it. I bought like these massive palettes for them because I was like, how am I gonna store all this? Like, you know how like after you're like I know this is ridiculous. I just keep looking at them. I need to unwrap them and swatch them and everything else. But I'm just like, I feel like I need to understand fully how to like tackle them, like how to tackle swatching 180 colors. But I'm so grateful to them because it's unreal. Yeah. I still can't believe it.
So what did your family say? Like what did your siblings say when they found that out? Because they must have lost it.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. They were really sweet. They were like, "Oh, well done, and it's amazing, and it's good to see, my hard work paying off, kind of thing." But I feel like they would understand the way that we will understand. Do you know what I mean? Like they won't understand the way that you understand, the way that people in the chat understand, because they'll kind of be like, "Oh, cool, paints." Uh-oh, are we frozen? Can you guys hear me? Oh, you can hear me, but you probably will wait for Maggie to join us again. Oh man, it's weird now being by myself and only hearing my voice. I'm just scrolling down the chat. I'm sorry if I've missed anything. And I will message Maggie and let her know. I thought that I was frozen or something. Do you see what I mean? Because I couldn't hear anything. Let me. I'll just let Maggie know. Same link. And I'm back. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I was saying that my family were happy, but I kind of feel like it's not the same because they're like, oh, art supplies. I feel like if you were, I was thinking about doing this as a video. If I were to show my art supplies to like friends, family members, anyone, and ask them to guess how much these art supplies cost, there is no way that they will get it right. Like, and I don't know if you feel the same. Like, if you were to ask someone, how much do you think that this polychromos pencil costs? No one will be like, oh yeah, this is £3. They'll be like, I don't know, 50p. Like, you know, so people don't fully understand how expensive art supplies are. um, and thus how it's a big deal, and also that they're like my favorite. They're like, yeah. Anyway, I'm still in awe and still super super grateful. I love landscapes. I highly encourage them, but I'm kind of biased. And I also love Moni's portraits. I'm just catching up on the comments while I wait for Maggie to come back. But I don't know, like I am grateful. I do find florals very relaxing to create. Like I feel like I can switch off my mind and just create them. And the thing is, I honestly don't think that they can be done wrong. I feel like you could look at it and say you don't necessarily like the effect, but the point of them being loose and abstract is that they're just fine. So there are some that I look and I like them more than others, and um others I'm just like, huh, not bad. I'm just reading at the bottom to see. I'm just cheap. That's easily. Oh, you guys were talking about which colors to use, which Maggie has now picked. And let's see. Oh, I'm still here. Thank you for letting me know. And Maggie will be right back. Oh, phone overheated. Yeah, mine does that as well. Take your time. Moni, G major. Have you changed? No, D major. I was like, Moni? And I think I kind of feel like I'm almost done with regards to my one. And I'll just give Maggie like a moment to set up everything, no pressure. And then once you're ready, you just let me know and I'll add you. In the meantime, oh yeah, we're still sharing this. Still sharing this. So I've linked this in the description for you through my Ko-fi. So if you want to get this reference or the actual original reference, then feel free to do so. But I'm probably going to stop sharing that because it's going to take up a whole bunch of, because we're done, one, and two, it's going to take loads of energy, like lots of power. Hiya. Here I am. Maggie, are you happy? You want me to put you up at this angle? Just say when. In the meantime, here it is. Not gonna lie, I like it now. There was a point in the middle where I was kind of like, I don't know where this is going. I don't know if I'm gonna like this. There's a whole bunch of color, not like a lot of definition. But now I love it. And I like the rough edges. I may decide to like actually cut it. We'll see. But for now, I added cacti um, because this does remind me of a desert. I don't want to add some white to them. Oh, Maggie, shall I add you? If you say yes in the comments, then I will. I just don't want to add you if you're not ready. It is a great feeling, Dan. I completely agree. I think I am very lucky and fortunate in that, I mean, it's not that everything is amazing, but for the most part, I am usually so happy by the fact that I created something that there was nothing before and there's something now that I can kind of that I'm always happy. Basically, I'm usually always happy with the results, unless it is catastrophic. Like there were some things that I'm like, oh my gosh, this does not look good. But still, my take will be like, oh, it was fun, or oh, I learned something, or oh, this will be funny to look back on in time. And I'm gonna add Maggie. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's fine.
My phone overheated. I'm trying to like make sure that it stays cool this time, so I have this angle so I can keep my eye on it a little better. But this is the little no reference baby owl so far. So I'm very happy with how that background looks. It's super cool. And he kind of got this like accidental part in his hair. Like, do you see that?
Yeah, I see it.
So funny. So yeah, we'll do the side angle that I do sometimes on my channel, but I'm loving him right now. So I just want to do the eyes, like the orangey eyes, and then I should be able to just go to town on the body and really be loose and have fun. This is the kind of thing for me that, like you were saying, that girls are just super loose and you could do them like that. That is how animals are for me. Only, but I think it's just because I do them so much. So I just have it like memorized. You know what I mean?
I honestly, I don't even know how, like, I would be like, ow, how many eyes do they have? Do they have
Oh.
like, I'm gonna be so baffled. Like, I don't even know how or where to start. But maybe one day I'll do it as like a, oh, well, definitely with a reference. And then after I do it with a reference, maybe I will escalate to without a reference and see how it goes.
And that's the thing. I've done owls with references so often. That's the only reason that I'm able to do them just off the top of my head now. You're exactly right. Like you have to do that. And did you see Moni said Etcher Labs got in touch with her to offer to do, and I know that you did the accordion one, right?
Yeah.
They're another a totally amazing company that to work with. Like I can't even imagine.
Yeah, no, they are awesome. I did it for the accordion and also for like the postcards. I like
Mm-hmm.
them because they seem to really like working with artists.
Yeah.
Um, what did they, Moni, what did they like offer in terms of like what suppliers were they saying would you like to review? What have I used? So I've used their postcards, which is their 100% cotton watercolor paper, and I like that. It doesn't have like that much texture. Like to me, it's like a texture between hot press and cold pressed. And then what have I used? They're gouache brushes, which I like as well. But I tend to use the gouache brushes for watercolor because I like really firm brushes for gouache. I don't. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a personal preference kind of thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
loads of people prefer it. Um, and the postcard. So if you've used the everyday sketchbook, it's the same paper as the paper in the postcards, if that makes
I
sense.
love that sketchbook so much. I'm loving this sketchbook too. This is that random sketchbook that I found at that art store. It's called Artisan in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where there was
I
like a
love that video.
python. Yeah. Do you remember that they had a python
Yeah,
in the place? Like if you went to go take a watercolor course there would be a python. So I just
that's
like
insane.
this is the funniest thing ever. I love it. So they were really cool, and this was like just a fun sketchbook that I saw, and it loves watercolor. Like it's so good with watercolor. So
Um,
if anyone was wondering,
what?
I saw you all talking about fountain pens earlier in the chat. I used this Jinhao fountain pen. I cannot remember which model it is right now, but it's this kind of cigar shaped fountain pen. I think it's like a platinum fountain pen dupe, and I got like 6 for $10 on eBay, and it is great.
Oh.
Says it has a fine nib, but it writes like a medium nib. Here's the nib. And it's just really, I just love it for sketching. I put platinum carbon black ink in it. Oops. And that is my permanent ink. As you can see, I'm watercoloring over it and it's not like bleeding and going everywhere. So I do really like Jinhao fountain pens are really nice. They're like upping their game and really coming out with beautiful stuff. So highly recommend them as a cheap, entry level fountain pen. just pick like a look that you like. They really have a lot of options, and you'll probably be fine. That's my advice on that one. What color should I make the owl?
Oh, hold on a second.
It's like a
Can people
bluish.
hear echoing?
Hmm?
I wonder if you guys let me know. Can you hear an echo? Because my headphones have just died.
Oh no, I don't hear an echo, but I'm not listening on the iPad. I'm just watching the comments on the iPad.
Oh.
Let us know in the chat if sounds good. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Oh, then why was I wearing it? You always get told wear headphones, otherwise there'll be like an echo.
And then it's the headphones are what are messing you up.
And then the headphones die, and actually it's completely fine, and I was blocking my ears for no reason.
I think I want to use this Galaxy Brown for the owl. I think that'll look good. Gosh, I love these. I'm excited.
I love how like free and how I love how you seem to like really know granulating watercolors, because I remember one of the concerns that I had with them was, would you like, you don't want everything to granulate all the time, and I feel like you've got that mix where you've got control and you know when it's going to granulate, when it's not going to granulate, and how to make it granulate and how to not make it granulate. Do you feel like that?
Yes, because it's all about water. So like, as you can see here, I added a ton of water and it really flowed and went crazy. If I'm like here, I'm just doing really concentrated color with not that much water. And so it's just not going to granulate that much. It's just going to look like a brown with really interesting complexities to it. But I have to tell you, one of the reasons I love the watercolors is because I don't have to have control. It's going to look cool if it granulates even without control, you know? And that's one of the things I really like about it, is it's a way to let go of that. Whereas if I'm using, you know, a solid color watercolor, like a, you know, like a phthalo blue, classic non-granulating watercolor, it's going to be about water control too, but it's to dilute the color or to concentrate the color. It's not going to be for the color to surprise you. You're going to be able to control the color. And I like not being able to control the color. That's something I really like. And I didn't think I would like it on animals. I thought that was something that it would just be for backgrounds like this, or it would just be for landscapes to like suggest movement or trees or whatever. But I actually love it for literally everything. I don't know. It's probably why I love fountain pen ink too, because it is so unpredictable when you put it in water, and it's just exciting to me. I don't know. It's one of those things that's exciting to me. Your color choice in that piece is another example, like super exciting to me. I love the colors you picked. I think I saw a question. I don't know if you answered it while I was having horrendous phone issues, but did you talk about how you chose those colors, because they are stunning?
No, I didn't. I didn't. You always have such good questions. I don't know. I feel like I love purples. I don't know how it was. I think when I was looking at the reference, I could see some really dark purples, some blues, and some yellows. And I was keeping that in mind in terms of like, okay, well, where the sun is hitting is going to be yellow, and then the darkest depths of the shadows will be purple, and the midtones will kind of be bluish. And I think initially, I had like quite a lot of blue here, like in this area at the foreground, which I didn't mind. I thought it looked nice, but then I kind of felt like it was making everything blend together. And although I like the idea of like a little stream, or it looking like there's a stream, it just felt like, okay, well, there's blue in the mountain, there's blue down here, there's blue down here, there's blue everywhere, there's blue in the sky, and you can't really tell what's foreground, what's midground, and what's background. So, but yeah, I don't know, I find painting always very intuitive. It's one of the reasons that I don't necessarily like or end up doing that many tutorials, because I feel like I'm not best placed to explain what I am doing, or
I totally get that. 100%. Honestly, that's why I don't think I could do live streams by myself like you do. Like, this is fun because I'm just kind of talking to you like if we were sitting together having a painting session, and then we just have other friends who are texting us who know we're having they know we're having a painting session. So like, ooh, are you doing that? Like, we're just all art friends just chatting. But if it were just me, I talk really slowly, when I'm painting and thinking about things like that if it's just me. And it's interesting to me because you can see that I'm a very fast talker. I'm from New York originally. I talk really fast. It's one of the
New
biggest. Yeah, New York. It's one of the places that is, yeah. I'm from Long Island, and everyone wants to know why I don't have a Long Island accent,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I can't tell you. My husband doesn't have a Southern accent either, and he's from South Carolina, so I couldn't tell you. I don't know. But I think that it's interesting. It's one of the only times my brain lets me slow down is when I'm painting. Like it's another therapeutic thing about painting. So, any old who, just FYI, this is super fun. Like I'm loving feeling like we're all, especially when you all are telling us that you are painting and you are just sitting down to paint and this is perfect timing and all this. Because I do that all the time with your live streams. When I'm painting and I'm just like hearing you talk and you're answering questions from these same people. Like it's just really fun. So yeah, this is great.
Yeah,
Thank
my
you.
live streams are usually like perfect time for Americans
Yeah.
and people in Canada, and just dreadful time for anyone who's in the same time zone as me.
Maybe that's how people you work with don't know about the channel yet.
Yeah,
like I was
how
wondering
could
about
they
that.
possibly know when I go live at like 3 a.m. and I'm like, hi guys.
Oh my gosh, how do you do that? Like what is your work schedule? Like how do you do that? Is it on call stuff?
I think it's a combination of on calls and also just generally like I just tend to have a bad sleeping pattern. So when I fall asleep, I'm good and I'm asleep. But when I do nights, I then find it hard to fall asleep at night. I automatically want to fall asleep in the day. So for example, I just finished nights on Friday morning and I had actually managed to flip back, but then I managed to flip back again, which is why I was asleep when your video went out because I was like, oh, I need to sleep. And then my night shifts normally start around 8. So I was like, the safest bet to ensure that I am actually awake for this live stream is to have it at night.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine. I mean, I can imagine because when I was first a lawyer, I worked for what's like called a big law firm. Where I don't know if you have that. I know you have them in London. They're big law firms in London, but I don't know if you call it that there. But it's just like I don't know. It's like the get a sleeping bag and sleep on the floor type law practice, like you're just working all the time. And that was very unsustainable, which is why I don't do that anymore and moved to Colorado from the East Coast to do more of I do family law now. And that's much more reasonable. Like immigration law is really reasonable hours, tax law is good, bankruptcy law is good. Usually for like timing and stuff. Obviously it depends what firm you're in. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do those because I already have such bad insomnia. That was just making it like so impossible to ever sleep. And I was just like, this is probably not good for my long-term life longevity on this.
Night shifts are terrible for long term, but I don't know. I think it's worked out well when I look and I see like say analytics and I see where most of my audience is from. Most people are from Canada and America, like the vast majority, and then next like it's US, Canada, then the UK.
Oh, that's funny. That's so funny. I wonder why. I wonder what that's about. Because you all have some of the best art stores. Like Choosing Keeping video, I live for that. That's another one that I rewatch all the time.
That was so fun to record. Like, yeah.
I can't imagine.
So
how relaxing. You didn't buy anything. How you didn't. Well, did you end up buying like a couple of things or you thought about it before?
Nothing. It was like a genuine. So I think it's because I knew I was doing the no buy, which for me meant that I knew like it almost like removed like I wanted to buy things obviously, but then because I knew that I was doing a no buy, I just kind of just kept telling myself that I can come back. Like it's okay, I can come back, I can go back. I don't need to buy now, I can come back. This is a reason, this is an excuse to come back. And then that just meant that I could hold out. I never did go back though. I haven't yet gone back rather.
Are you so proud of yourself? Well, I mean, when you have like every color ever made and you have those awesome Holbein paints that someone sent you, like you do have quite a nice collection now. So does that make it easier not to buy?
No. It should make it easier. I was telling my like Kofi members that I had like a bad day. Was it on Friday? And straight after work, I decided to like just go and browse on in an art store, just to like cheer myself up and whatever.
Yeah.
And this is my receipt. I have never ever.
Is that a CVS receipt?
Like this is literally.
Oh
I was like,
gosh.
this is beyond. Like I can't. But that being said, they were having a 50% sale.
That is amazing.
But it was hard in the sense of like. I look around and like, no, I have gouache. No, I have watercolor. No, I have this. I have that. So then what I ended up doing was
getting everything you didn't already have.
Yeah. I was like, oh, and so a new addiction begins. And I was like, yeah, I'll just buy a few pencils.
Oh, pencils.
And it just massively escalated from there.
Oh my gosh, that's so easy to escalate. I so hear you, because when I first tried a Caran d'Ache pencil, I know I talk about this sometime. I wonder if any of you all in the chat are like this too, but I'm a very tactile person. So I actually didn't love these brushes when I first got them because they're a little long. So the bounce just felt different, but they are the best brushes I've ever used. So it's like, it just took me a second to get over the physical feeling of holding them because I'm such a tactile person. But like when I first held a Caran d'Ache pencil, it wasn't good because I was like, oh God, these are like $4 a pop and I'm going to have to buy so many of them because they feel so good.
Yeah.
They just feel so good. Why? Why do they have to make the most expensive thing?
I've tried polychromos, but then I started watching like videos, and I think I tried polychromos because people were like, that's their favorite. And then when I started watching videos, I was like, oh, these Caran d'Ache look really nice as well. But they are expensive. Like, my goodness, they are not cheap.
Yeah,
so
they're not. It's true.
I haven't bought any yet. Like, but I think I will at some point. But I told myself that I am allowed to buy them if I use a significant amount of the polychromos. Like, it can't just be that I, just keep buying art supplies.
I have decided to come to terms with the fact that I am not buying art supplies the way a normal person buys art supplies, or the way my viewers would. Yeah, like, by the way, Temple was like, where is it? LOL browse. So true. It's so true. But like, we all get that. I really don't browse. I know I'm not going to browse. I know I'm going to have to buy something because I can always justify a sketchbook. But like, because I go through them so fast. But
you really do. Really don't. So you can imagine how, like, although this year it's all going to change, I'm going to dedicate more time to my sketchbooks. God willing.
Oh, good. Well, and I just don't like storing loose paper. Like, I have this really cute one here. I actually totally would send this to whoever wants it because it just sits here. Hold on. I have this really pretty painting of like a mountain range, and I like the colors and stuff, but it just sits here with nothing being done with it because
you don't want to frame it?
I have some frame things. Oh, do you want to see? Hold on. I just realized because I have the handheld, I can show you guys stuff. So this is probably not light, but this is my little wall of like framed art stuff.
That's so
cool. But most of it's my stuff from what's it called? Redbubble. Where you can order stuff that I've done. Yeah.
Redbubble.
But yeah, on Redbubble. But like I'll order that and just frame it because those are in a sketchbook of mine, but they're like in a closet and I want to see those,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just don't love having loose paper. What do you do with your loose paper? Like, where do you? Because you have a ton.
Yeah, I have a lot. I have a lot, and I was wondering, or was kind of discussing this with Kofi people as well, to just try and figure out what should I do with it.
Right.
And what I've done is I bought like a big A3 size portfolio. This is by no means a good solution, but it will do for now. But because I was literally just initially, I would put the A4 and smaller ones into like a shoebox, and I would put my A3 just like on like on top of a cabinet, so they were just there, like bare for light, for the elements and for everything else. So I didn't do that for ages. So now I've bought like this portfolio where I literally just throw it all in there, which again, not great. Not the greatest method. But I think
Oh
it's
man.
also started because, like, with live streams and stuff, I just find it easier. I guess I could just get a big sketchbook, like that would literally fix it. But I'm like, oh, live streams, the paper is bigger. I can experiment. I can be super, like, I feel less pressure with paper pads because I know that I can just literally, it's one sheet. I can throw it away. Whereas a sketchbook, it feels like it's immortalized inside this book for the rest of time.
I I guess that's right because I don't cut stuff out. I don't cut
Yeah.
stuff out of my sketchbook. You're right. Generally, I feel like maybe I have one, so not really. Before I go on though, Diane says, "Is it me?" Or at this point, does her owl look like an angry cat? It could be me, as I have 5 cats in bed with me right now.
Other cat's angry. Looks like an owl to me.
Oh, I mean,
But
I see it. So I see what you're saying. Like, this is a little baby right now. I'm very happy with it. It's very cute. See what I mean by if you get the eyes like cute, you're gonna have something cute. It's not gonna be a problem.
yeah.
Um, but no, it's so funny because my husband always says, "Oh, that looks like Tuffy, my dog."
Yeah.
Like everything I make looks like my dog because my dog is the cutest thing. So I totally get if you're seeing a cute cat, like a grumpy cat, I take that as the biggest compliment because clearly you love cats and that's what you see when you see cute things is going to be a cute. So I'm going to be super complimented by that. But oh, okay. So I didn't want to forget this. Moni's cracking me up too with her comments about this face. She said that this looks like someone told this owl not to buy art supplies, and the owl's like,
Not gonna happen.
not gonna happen. Like, good luck with that. But I've just accepted. Like, I was starting to feel really guilty about how many art supplies I buy and continue to get.
Me too.
Yeah, and I just decided I was watching Stephanie Davis, who's like the queen of all art supply hauls, and I realized like it's actually okay with how much I use them. I use my supplies. I don't,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I don't have to use them up to use them, and I
Yeah.
use them. So I'm not going to feel guilty about, you know, something that brings me so much joy. And there are different properties to different. I thought when I started painting and following YouTube painters like us, I thought I would figure out what the best paint
One
was,
is, yeah.
right? I would get that, and then I wouldn't need to get anything else. And that is so not how it worked out.
No,
Not,
then you realize that everything's completely different.
yes, yes,
And that
exactly.
you want something different for every single project, and yeah,
Yes.
no, it's completely different. And I could see that Moni was also asking a question about the Bao Hong paper and AliExpress. So I get my Bao Hong paper from AliExpress as well. And whereas I don't know if everything on there is trustworthy, I have literally just bought some, and it's arrived like 2 weeks early. So I said it was going to be a month. It arrived in 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
So just an FYI, if you do, like, I tend to look at the ones that have, 5+ stars, or not 5 stars, like 4 or 5 stars, and it will tell you how many sales they've had. And as long as they're not like a crazy, ridiculously low price in terms of like $1, then I wouldn't go for things like that. But usually the Bao Hong blocks like this size, maybe like 20, 18, and then the smaller ones are less. So if you're looking for Bao Hong, which I personally absolutely love,
yeah,
then,
it's really good.
Definitely go for it. I think it's easier to get in the US now than it is everywhere else because Jackson's isn't selling it anymore.
It's very
been
easy
sold
here.
out for ages.
Knock on wood, but it's been very easy here. I will tell you, it's very hard to order on AliExpress here. I don't do it. I really end up getting.
Really?
Yeah, I end up getting AliExpress. I've tried to do it before because back again, I was on like a Peter Draws binge and he was testing out these like dupes for Kaweco sport pens that I think the chat was talking about earlier. And the real sports, they weren't talking about the dupes. But they had these dupes that looked really good and I wanted to try them. And I kept trying to sign up for AliExpress and order stuff and I couldn't, it wouldn't let me. There was no hope. So I just didn't. I've tried and tried, like it just wouldn't let me. I don't know what it was, and as you can see, like it's not like I have the utmost in sophistication when it comes to tech. But I mean, I've always been able to buy something on a website. Like I buy from Boohoo, which is closed sometimes, So I don't know why, but it just didn't work for me. But I can get it on eBay. Anything that I see on AliExpress generally, I can find somewhere on eBay, maybe not for the same exact price. And they sell Bao Hong at like all of my favorite small like independent art supply stores here too.
Really? Here,
Yeah.
like, is literally on Amazon is a ridiculous price, like £50. Like
Oh my gosh.
I feel like they almost put the price up so high because they don't want you to buy it. Like that's what it feels like, you know.
They
It's
don't
not
want
a
to bother
normal
shipping.
price.
Oh my God.
And then Jackson's is sold out, so the only other place I could find it was AliExpress. So I actually ended up buying 5 blocks, I want to say, because I don't tend to like buying from AliExpress. Like it doesn't feel like the most legit of places to buy from, in terms of like, I always do question, like, is it going to be like safe? Is it going to arrive? Are they just going to steal my money? What's going to happen? So I try to limit it. And then also they'll do this thing where they'll give you a price, but by the time it gets converted and the time they add customs, it's a completely different price. So I never actually know how much it's going to cost when I'm buying the thing. So if it's, I think once it actually like doubled the cost of what I was buying. So I always bear that in mind. So I was just like, okay, I'll do it in one go. Oh, he's awake. I'll do it in one go, and thereafter I'll, like, I don't know, just try and buy once a year. So this is like my yearly supply, if that makes sense.
Yes. Pardon my, don't look at the rest of my office. I'm trying to like not show my office because it's so ugly. It does. And I agree with you on like worrying if AliExpress is legit or like a nice place to buy stuff from. Oh, I have that same one, I think. I have one from, I have one of those dryer things, but I have it from Hippie Crafter. So I'm done with, I think I'm done with this owl. What do you guys think? Do you think I need to do more detail anywhere? See if I
think
can.
it's adorable.
Oh.
You're right about the eyes.
Oh, I'm wondering if it has enough. There we go. If it has enough contrast. Let me know in the chat. What do you think? I'm just fixing my lighting to get natural light back. Oh, Temple goes
natural.
baby.
Oh yeah, I was like, natural light. How can you get natural light at like 10 p.m.?
Oh man, I love how that glacier green looks. That's so cool. You know what I mean? I get so much joy from those. So yeah, I mean, practice portraits more. Have you done so, and why or why not? What's your hot drink of choice in Boulder? Are you asking me about Boulder, or is there someone in the chat named Boulder? Boulder plans. Okay,
there's someone in the chat called Boulder who is painting a hot drink for her 30-day sketchbook prompt.
Oh, fun. Oh, see, and I answered Ozo Copy. Boulder plans. If you're in Boulder, Colorado, do you agree with that selection for the coffee place? And I'll let you answer her in the chat about what drink you want. You have a knack for great, cute eyes. Thank you so much. Okay, you ladies said in your last collaboration that you would practice portraits more. Have you done so? Why or why not? I have.
Ooh.
And also, Moni, thank you so much for that comment about coming up with stories. I also love coming up with stories for my art, like this, like the cute art, and I am here for it. Okay, let's see. This color. Yeah. So these are, I definitely practiced with portraits more. I don't know if this will show because my screen's kind of small. But this is one I did in like 30 seconds with 2 pens, one in each hand. It's like one in my left hand, one in my right hand. And this is one I did for my 10-hour challenge. I also did this one for the 10-hour challenge. I did this one with that multicolor pencil that you drew the London Bridge with, Sketches. I used that same pencil.
Yeah, the cool, this one.
Yep. The Magic or whatever, I think it's called.
Yeah.
I love that. And then I did this one with just a colored pencil. It probably is hard to see, but
no,
I did like a Posca background. Okay. I love the way that came out, but as you can see, I tried to like white out mistakes and it just looks awful. And then I did, oh, there's another super granulating owl, so I just have to obviously show you that because that's what we're doing. I did this portrait, which I think looks actually like my friend, who's just like a stunning woman. She's gorgeous. So I actually think that ends up looking like her, even though I wasn't drawing a reference of her. And then I have this like flower lady. Hold on. Yeah. This flower lady I did
Oh my
with
gosh, you've done loads of portraits.
right? With watercolor brush pens, this one. Which is really hard to do. I don't know if you guys have used watercolor brush pens.
Like Ecoline or?
Yeah, like that, like Arteza, Ohuhu has a line. I used the Hippie Crafter ones that I reviewed on this channel. They are so much fun. But yeah, they're hard to control like colors. So I kind of just went with it. And then I did these. I really did. These are from my head with no reference, all of these. That one was with a reference. I liked how the third one. Yeah, this one was another one with the watercolor brush pens I thought came out really cool. I love the colors. So yeah, I have been practicing portraits a ton since we said that. But it sounds like you did not.
Now moves on to sketches.
What
happened was so
what had
goal
happened
for 2023, new year, new me. I don't know what happened. I did 4 portraits. That's all I did. So I created 3 for the art challenge that we did together, and then 1 additional one, and that is it. Like, it's a shame. It's a shame.
I love that song. With my heart. I do want to show you how ink moves in water and why I love it, and I think we have time because we had talked about doing like aiming for around 2 hours, and I feel like we're probably there. Plus, we still have 32 people in the chat. You guys are so nice that you're just hanging with us this whole time. You're pretty amazing. So first of all, this is ink moving in water. This is not really what I'm talking about. I'm going to give you a live demo. Someone in the chat, the same person, I think, Pre-Raphaelite, great name, by the way. Love Pre-Raphaelite paintings. Said, could you please do a demo for us on why you love the way ink moves in water so much? Do not have to ask me twice to play with ink. That's my favorite thing to do. What are you doing? Are you doing loose florals? I'm like literally just noticing that you're painting again. That's such a bad.
Just because you were doing the owl, and I was like, I can't just watch. Like, I want to paint as well. Like, that's the whole point of this, is to have fun and paint together.
Oh my god. Well, let me. Okay, I'm trying to think. I guess I can't make them into anything. I'm just gonna do some blobs. I mean, maybe we'll do our Rorschach test thing that I like to do, where you like see if you can see anything in the blobs. But I'll just do some water blobs and show you what I mean. So this is just the last of my Edelstein Pelican Edelstein Star Ruby that I got gifted to me. I'm just putting it in an eyedropper and drop it in. Look at, okay, come on. I'm just gonna let that speak for itself.
Does anything else need to be said?
Do you have any more questions? No, I'm kidding. And good night. No, it actually is like 3 o'clock here. It's not nighttime, but yeah, I love ink. So look, so while it does that, it'll take a minute, but it'll separate, it'll change colors. This one's an even better one to demonstrate with this. Let me do this one with a brush. This is Noodler's Golden Brown. Look what this one does in water. Like, this is a brown color. I need to get way more. Like, see how it separates and it's all these different colors?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, how and why are you so cool? It's probably similar to how much I love super granulated watercolors. It's really the same idea of what it does, you know, that it separates and becomes different things.
For reasons unknown, like, I haven't tried inks yet. It's been, I guess, part of me almost feels like, oh, there are so many, and I feel like I'd end up getting ink all over the place, like top of the bottle, and then just
it does
have it everywhere. So it's something that I haven't yet tried, but then I almost feel like, in theory, like when I watch your videos, because I watch all of them, I almost wonder, like, oh, if I love watercolor, would it lean quite nicely into the inks? Like, I think it seems to, no?
It does. It definitely does. And the only thing is, if you're not into them yet, do be forewarned, because they're very addictive.
Yeah. That was the other thing. I was like, do I have space to get addicted to another form of art supply? Do you know what I mean? Right. I was like, even getting a Lamy pen, I was like, is this going to be a slippery slope? No, I'm just going to use it for urban sketching. It's going to be fine. But I did have it in the back of my mind, like, I cannot fall in love with a completely different medium.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It is a whole other medium, and you have to learn it and figure out how to paint with it and how to make cool stuff with it, and then you they're all different colors. So you have to like buy each color, much like with watercolor, you can buy free colors and mix almost every color.
Yeah.
But with oh, thank you so much, Pre-Raphaelite, with that compliment. You guys are being so nice to me. But you have to keep buying different colors, if you know what I mean. And that is it is another expense. And as we've talked about, like, we're already big spenders when it comes to art supplies. So, you know, if I had never gotten into it and didn't know what I was missing, I never would get into it, but I would know now. And I would miss
it's too late
it.
to go back.
Yeah, I would miss it. I love it. Here's one that I've actually been dying to try. I should really clean my water. It's so disgusting. Do you guys want to see what I'm doing with what water I'm using? Please don't unsubscribe. So gross. It's so gross.
I don't think Dark Roast is here, but there was a time that I was doing a live stream and I removed the tape and the tape tore through the paper, like just tore it. And she was like, unsubscribe.
Oh no!
I was like, no,
so brutal.
It hurts me more than it hurts you. I was like, yeah, that was.
Oh my god. Temple it hurts me more than it hurts you. Temple has a good tip. She said, I have a box, it almost fit in the box. Temple, I had a box, it almost fit in that box, and now I have a box on top of that box. Now I have a box on top of the box, and I need to stop. It was a pretty darn big shoebox too. I had no reason, no call. It was uncalled for. Definition of uncalled for. But yeah, that is so funny. Wow, that is so pretty. I'm gonna have to come back and watch this again to watch your part of it, because I'm not watching what you're doing. And I've been really struggling to follow how you do that, like how you get that gorgeous background and then do the florals on top of it, but you maintain all that gorgeous white space to make the florals make sense, you know? Like, I don't know how you did that. I don't know how you did that.
Honestly, the very first time that I did it was, one, for Kofi, and two, it was, I think, because it was post nights. Like, you know, I find that after I finish night shifts, I get loads of ideas, and I don't know if they are genius or complete trash. Like, you know, it's almost like it's that kind of thing where you're like, this could be the best thing ever, or actually something completely dreadful, and it doesn't make sense as to why I would do this. Like, there was one time post night shift that was it night shifts? I hadn't slept all night, and I was like, you know what? I really want to learn the piano. So I wanted to spend my entire rent money to buy a piano. And I went on Amazon, and I think it was like 1,500 or something.
Oh my god.
And I tried to buy it, and it wasn't working. And I kept trying to buy it. This is the one and only time, thank God, that Amazon like crashed and kicked me out. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try this in the morning. And obviously when I woke up, I was like, what the hell? I can't believe.
What was I thinking? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't.
This whole background thing was part of like that night, having just finished nights, like, it was actually for an art challenge, like a do this in your style challenge that I was doing.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, I will. Let me just see how that goes. And then from there, I was like, this is fantastic. Why haven't I done this before? And it's just fun to play around with.
Awesome. It's awesome. It looks beautiful. I love it. And you've done it a ton, and it was really highlighted in your video today, your sketchbook tour, your second sketchbook tour today. You saw a ton of those. But yeah, I poured too much here. I hope everyone understands. I poured way too much on this point. But that's okay. It's still gonna be cool. But yeah, I think that it's so cool, and I guess I just struggle to preserve. We talked about this already with the landscape, but I really struggle to preserve my whites. My whites always end up somewhere else. Just gone. Cult Pens, yes. Cult Pens is a really cool company to get your inks, and your fountain pens. Wonderful. Every medium, yes.
Medium. I feel like that.
Yeah, I love painting a fun background before I do my animals, for sure. It just like takes pressure off or something. Amazon saved you, Temple said. Very true.
They really did. I was like, oh yeah, no, like I need a piano. I've been putting it off. That's it. I'm gonna get a piano. And then, yeah, it just didn't work. Like, one and only time. And I was like, why isn't it working? I need this piano. And I tried over and over and over again. It didn't work. I woke up in the morning and I was like, oh my gosh.
So cute. What a
I woke
cute
up in
thing.
the afternoon rather.
I mean, that is a very funny thing to like want in the middle of the night. I always get art supplies when I have insomnia, and it's a big problem. But I don't regret them. It's ones I've wanted, and then my inhibitions are gone because it's 4 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep. Yeah, so I will want to draw over these when they dry and see what I can think they look like. Like this one is already looking like a jellyfish to me, you know, like with these little things coming down. This kind of looks like a hedgehog.
I don't know how you see these things. Like I know I don't have aphantasia, but I also know that my like I don't know. How does one work on imagination, guys?
I'm gonna ask you, like, if you looked at this one, for instance, it's just kind of like it looks almost like a cash register to me from here. But I'm just looking at it the way, like, did you ever play that game where you looked at clouds as a kid, and you would like look up at the clouds and be like, oh, I see a deer, oh, I see a balloon, you know, things like that.
I looked up at the clouds, never, not once. I looked up at the clouds. I could see them moving, and obviously I'd been told you can't see the earth moving, and I was like, ha, these people just haven't looked up. Like that's that's genuinely that was genuinely my conclusion.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, so you were careful. I can't ask you that. You know what I was about to ask you, but do not answer it, and I'm taking it back before I even ask it. But I was literally about to ask you which of your siblings you're closest with. Can you imagine if I actually if I asked you that on live? I forgot that we were on live for a second. She doesn't have any favorites.
Well, the one that I love the most is
Thank you so much. I just have the one sister, so I don't have to even think about these things. But no, like, so if let's say you were looking at Pre-Raphaelite's right, by the way. I used to beat myself up for not being able to draw without a reference. It isn't a sign of being a better artist or anything. It totally doesn't matter at all. I think that, like, look at Super Ray Dizzle. She will do that transfer thing all the time to get proportions. She's actually where I even learned that was a thing that you could do. And some people would say, like, that's cheating, or I would feel guilty, like, oh, is that cheating? You know, because I have to like look at the picture and figure out how to translate it to the page, but that's just not true. Like, it doesn't make you a better artist or anything. It's just one way to do it. And I do think it's fun, but you're doing it right now with your florals. I'm assuming you're not looking at a reference for those, right?
Yeah, no, but I don't know. Florals feels different.
Why? Because it's easy for you and you're really, really good at it.
No, they just feel like, I don't know, they just feel, different. They're like, oh, it's, especially, I don't know, even when I look at my florals, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I should push boundaries a bit more. I should experiment a bit more.
I think that is true. And I feel like, but it is good to push boundaries and experiment. I think that's how we discover more of our style and stuff. But I do get frustrated with myself for buying into those, like, the art pressure. Like, why do we do that? Like, why do I put pressure on myself about art? It's literally how I relax. It's fun. No one cares. Our community is so nice and supports literally everything we do. And just because, like, they're just happy to have someone to do this with, like we do when we're fanning someone else's channel,
Exactly, yeah.
But why? I don't know, but it is a thing. Like, it is something I do. I put pressure on myself, just like how it sounded like you were starting to do with, like, things should have a totally identifiable style, or you know what I mean, or you're a terrible artist. Like, you should always draw from your head. You shouldn't even have a reference. Like, my mom often makes me feel really bad without meaning to at all. It's just like an innocent comment, but she'll be like, oh my gosh, did you make that yourself? Like, did you make that yourself? And I'll be like, yeah, I used a reference, like, from such and such. But she goes, oh, like, the minute there's a reference, that's not actually that's not art. That's not what I was talking about. It's like, you can't look at anything. I'm like, you couldn't not have a reference. You live, your eyes are open. There's something that's influencing your brain when you're drawing something, even total abstract. Like, it is based on a reference of, like, living life. I don't know how else to explain it. But is that what you're doing in your head, like, to yourself?
I think it depends. So I I don't have an art style, and I was thinking about this earlier, and I was like, I don't think I would ever have an art style because I like trying things so much. And I don't know, maybe it's that kind of thing of I do and I can't see it the same way that I can't see like when my art is changing. But I don't feel like I'd have an art style. I feel like even putting the sketchbook tour together, I tried to separate it in a way that made sense, because I was like, otherwise this will look like completely crazy, because we'll move from like urban sketches to florals to like just random abstract things. It will look like 3 different people made this.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So from that perspective, I'm just like, okay, no, I don't really want an art style. I'm fine not having an art style. But I am starting to think more like I want to experiment and I want to like improve. I don't know, like experiment and figure out what I like doing and what I don't like doing, and also in general I think improve. And I think, I don't know, if I feel like because you've got a good balance in terms of you create a good amount of art on YouTube, but you also seem to create a good amount of art off YouTube. Whereas for me, most of the art I create is on YouTube, because I feel like otherwise I won't have time to put out a video. So it's either...
That's the thing. You are so prolific with your videos, and I'm not. Like, I only do once a week, so I have all that, but I paint every day. So if the only times I painted, I also was making a video, it would be back to the beginning of my channel where I made like 4 videos a week. Because I would just record every time I painted. I would just record every time I painted and be like, hey guys. Yeah.
That was so insane. Like, how does she do this?
There are some questions here. Like Boulder Plan says she's got a spice rack so she can see her inks, because Moni was like, she ended up not using her art supplies if it's in a box. Not my inks, because they're right next to me and I know they're in there and they're constantly like humming at me to be used. So if it were something like alcohol markers that I rarely use, or water-based markers that I kind of have to remind myself to use, or colored pencils that I have to remind myself to use, if it were in a box, I wouldn't use it. But watercolors, gouache, acrylic gouache, and ink, I would never. I could lock it in a safe in another house down the block and I would use it as much.
And still remember.
Let me just show you, because my phone is starting to overheat again and I'm at 16%. Sorry. No, you're good. Why are you apologizing?
Because I've kept you for longer. Oh, wow.
No, I love you. I'm having so much fun. But I wanted to show you, look at that ink separation of color. Like, it's not even dry yet. It's really when it dries that you can really see it. But that one, like, see the green through it?
Yes.
Like seafoam green.
It
and
does look like it's granulating. Even the color next to it.
That one, okay, so there are 3, the little boys are granulating colors. So this purple is a granulating color, this like blue is a granulating color, and this is cobalt teal. The big blobs are the inks, and I just put them next to each other to show you like the difference. This has a sheen, you see the red line running through it, like a pink. That's sheen. And then this one has like the bright yellows and oranges and
that the
browns.
brown one?
That's the brown one. This is not the brown one. It's a different brown one, but see how it too has like yellow in the corner, even though that's a pretty solid brown. When it dries, these will all have even more colors. Like this one is a pink, but it has that like gold sheen to it. Do you guys see that? So yeah, that's what I love. And they're not even fully dry. As they dry, even more stuff comes out. But like this one just already is, come on. Come
Beautiful. On. And is it common to use it for art, or is this just something that you've combined 2 things that you love together?
I didn't hear the first part. Is it a problem to use?
So is it common to use like inks for painting?
I
always thought of them for like calligraphy.
Yes, that's obviously definitely what they're known for. I think because I saw them for the first time on Peter Draws, which is an art channel, I immediately linked them with art. So I just always thought of them as to use for art. But they're one of my favorite things I've ever done was with ink. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Before we lose power. Before we lose power. Oh God. No, it's not in that one. No, oh geez. You know what? Am I even?
Someone's asking you what the top left ink is. Melissa's asking.
This one here is, what is it, 162 or is it 224? This one is Sailor Ink Studio 224. And it's very similar to 123, which is even more purple than this. Oof, love, 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 love. So no, it's not in here. This is an older.
To be honest, I'm only uploading once a week. You know, I'm not. Well, actually, it depends. I counted. No, not I counted. I'm trying to put together that video, but it's like, oh, there's so much information. I don't know what people want. But I made 62 videos last year, so it works out as just over once.
Oh my
a little
God.
bit more than once a week.
That is amazing. You really post a ton. Oh, found it. Okay, sorry. This is gonna drive me nuts. So this is an ink painting I did just with 2 inks that I got in samples. And it's,
I feel like I saw this. Was this in a sketchbook tour?
Yeah, it's in this Etcher Lab. And this is an Etcher Lab sketchbook, Moni. If you're interested, I can talk to you about how I liked it. But yeah, this is all ink, 2 colors. But like, look at this. Let me see if I can show you. See how there's like different colors in the pink, like greens and stuff? That's what I mean. Like, ugh, it's so interesting. So that's why I love painting with ink, because it's unpredictable. And you know how you said you want to take more risks and you want to experiment more? Ink and super granulating colors make me do that, because I would not have known green is in here until this just happened. And that would be the most gorgeous sky. Like, can you imagine doing a sky with that? Like, you could just put some water down, drop some of that ink in, leave it alone until it dries, and it would be stunning. Beautiful. So yeah, it's really not. I'm watching on YouTube and it's not super translating how beautiful that is. I'll have to probably send you a picture or something you can post in the chat. But you guys, I just want to say thank you so much to the chat. You guys have been so nice. Moni, I miss you. You were so active and I really appreciate you and miss you and love you. And we should do a 3-participant one of these for a nighttime one. Although it wouldn't be nighttime for me, but it would be for you guys. Sketches, I love you so much. You're so sweet and wonderful. Thank you for hosting this. You're so amazing.
Thank you so much for joining. Like, it's honestly, I was so nervous about asking, because I was like, I know that you haven't gone live before and it's something that's completely different. But I'm so glad that you said yes, because I've had such a good time.
Oh. It really flew by. It flew by. If it weren't for my phone just being like, no, we're not doing this, I would have never even noticed. Like, if it weren't for battery life, we would be continuing. Technical limitations. But this was so much fun. Thank you so much for inviting me and for running it and knowing how to do that and for picking the reference picture and painting it with me. I love how different our paintings were. That was so cool. It was so much fun to see how different.
I'll send you like a picture, and if you don't mind sending me one, then I'll post it on my community tab so that we can see it. And if anyone also painted it, then feel free to like share it. Feel free to send it to us on Instagram, because it would be a lot of fun to look at. And
I would love that. And we can add them to our stories too, because then it's not, you're not committing to like a lifelong commitment of people being able to see the art. You can just let it flash for 24 hours and it'll go away. So definitely send us that. That's so much fun. Thank you all so much for joining. Remember to leave her a like and share this video if you enjoyed it. I'm obviously totally happy for this to go up. You don't have to put this private or anything. This was great. I really enjoyed it. I want to be able to watch it again and watch like your process, because the florals look amazing.
Thank you. These are the 2 pieces.
Yes. They're gorgeous. Want to show you mine, but I'm a little worried about these being so wet, but let's see. I think I can figure out. Hold on. Oh, there's the little boy. The little art supply owl, we'll call him. And here's the piece that we did together. Thank you so much for joining.
I feel like people, would they know it came from the same reference, or would they be like, what?
That is actually a really good point. This is just like our phone challenge, or like our telephone challenge. Tell us if you would get those are from the same reference. You guys are awesome. Sharing hugs to you too. Have a great weekend. Yes,
if we missed any questions or anything, then feel free to leave a comment. Or if you just want to say hi and show some love, then also feel free to leave a comment and I'll read through them as well. But I really appreciate you guys being here. I had such a good time. Thank you so much, Maggie, for joining. You are absolutely awesome.
So much fun. I really feel like we had a play date.
Who's like joined.
Yes, you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.